This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason OG. How was your Stephen Crichton long weekend? There's a new king in town, baby.
I know.
It's not King Gut, though. It's Stephen Crichton.
The Critta's the man. I love him, man. I hold him in such high regard for a young kid. Like, he is a young kid.
He is.
I know I say young kid all the time.
Yeah.
But he's 23 this year.
But he's been around for a minute.
Yeah. He's very respectful. Easily already by the ear.
Yep.
But the respect that he's held within that club already, and he's only been there for what? Just say 8 months?
Yep.
Is massive.
I was critical, not critical. I thought I was a little bit confused. First year, centre, captaincy,
everything
all
given
the
to him.
changeover, but he's completely.
Can a young man handle that?
He's more than what I ever anticipated him being.
The dollars, the captaincy, the club like the Bulldogs, the pressure, bottom four for the last 6 years or something like that. And now, bang, top 8, change the whole one man.
He's
obviously
changed the
collectively,
culture.
but this one human has come over.
Well, you know, the alignment with Cam is evident.
It's massive, mate.
Like the relationship that they obviously had going back to Penrith, and what Cam's trying to build. Stephen Crichton's an extension of that.
Ciro told me how important he was to Penrith and its success over there. And I went, no, he's what? He's 21, 22. He goes, you don't understand. Until you see him in the flesh and you watch how he moves and everything like that, and just like his mannerisms and how he carries himself off the field, on the field. Like, I'm sitting here going,
hey, by the way, this is a little teaser, and we're about to get to Stephen Crichton a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, how was your long weekend, though?
Long weekend was good. Went up and saw my brother.
Yep.
Family, kids out. You know, little fella just loves animals, mate.
How good.
It doesn't matter what it is. And he lives up near Morpeth on a farm up there. So it's beautiful just to get out of Sydney, decompress.
He loves his animals, so you take him to see Uncle Les, the biggest animal of all.
Uncle Les, the biggest man of all. Yeah, we had a great weekend. It was just good to get out of Sydney and just decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, especially with Origin, man. It's intense. You can only imagine what it's like for players, right?
For sure.
If it's intense for us and people just reporting on it and how like everything's just about Origin, and if you read anything on the news feed, it's always about Origin, some player, this, that, and this and the other. It's good just to phone away, just be present.
Have a bit of a break.
Be present.
Spend
Just
some time with the family.
It's great. And then got home last night around about 9:30, straight to sleep.
I've got it. I knew there was something that it was in the punters and dribblers page as well, which we'll get to. But before the show, I was saying to Mason, something that I'm forgetting about. It's our appearance at Origin. So I'm going to get that up now and just have it here ready to go in a bit.
Yes,
but
yes.
We'll talk about
Melbourne.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Actually, yeah, we'll talk about the weekend and then we'll address that in a little bit. But one thing I've found over the weekend is I don't know, maybe because you do a little bit more work, got the radio commitments, it's Origin, there's a lot going on.
A lot of content.
A lot of content, and it's, don't get me wrong, I love doing it.
Negative and positive as well, right?
I wasn't able to train. That's the big thing.
Same.
Yeah. So
Last session was Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't. I had the week off from running, and I'm so fucking prickly when I'm not exercising and not exerting that energy. So that's one thing I found over the weekend. I had a run this morning, my first run in. It's not even that long, maybe 10 or 11 days. Like I had off just because I tweaked my calf a little bit, and I was a little bit pissed off, a little bit like I was enjoying my weekend, obviously with the family. Played a little bit of golf, but.
Just a bit short.
Yeah, it made me realise how important for me still exercise and like extreme as in not extreme, but just getting that energy.
It's the best therapy.
Yeah, it is.
It is the best therapy. There's no way. I always try and
spider just dropped out of the ceiling there. I thought it was a drip from a couple of weeks. Yeah, he's right. Not hurting anyone.
You know, it is the best therapy if you're feeling like there's not a time where I always go to the gym. I'm just like, I don't feel like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Then after, it feels just that much better. You know, you just got to get there.
So good.
The endorphins are flying everywhere, release serotonin and all that kind of shit, dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Sit there and just debrief, go for a coffee, and just like that's what it's about.
That's one of my favourite parts is going for a coffee after.
It's after. You might feel shit for about 5 minutes after, and then just go for a walk and go for a coffee and have a good chat. That's what you need. You need that. So all the young men out there who are struggling a little bit, Just go and exercise.
100%.
All you got to do is exercise. Get a bit of a group. You know, we're going to start our little run club again soon. And when it's not so fucking cold.
Yeah.
You don't care.
You'll come down and do
I don't mind.
Come down and do a bit of a walk with us every now and again.
I just know how important it is for everyone just to get out of the house and just to meet some of the young kids last year coming from Mount Druitt. People coming from Motorvale. They were travelling just to come in. And I always say, like, men just need to be... It's a bit, you need to be in a tribe. You need to be in a community. So if we can build that with some younger men come around, we can all talk. And, I'm an open book when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good talk. And speaking of our tribe and our community, Mace, thank you to everyone. We've got to 25K subscribers on YouTube. So thank you for everyone that is new. Thank you to all our OGs, the L1s from day one, anyone who has been... recommending us to friends and family. Next target, big one, 50K.
Yeah, 50.
Let's get to 50K.
50's nice.
We'll work to 50K. And
by the end of the year, you reckon?
50.
Who knows?
It's a lofty target. It's a lofty goal. Who knows? Let's see. So tell some friends and family. We know Origin. Everyone is pumped. Your Origin story your Anzac Test story rolling into Canberra Raiders.
I've got an Origin story. Don't worry about that.
It is our most shared form of content ever. It got shared. Let me have a look. I want to check it out now because it's still going. Like, I've got it here. Where is it? It has been shared 6,882 times. It has been viewed 210,000 times.
Shit.
This is just on Instagram too. This is not even TikTok. Liked 8,739 and 514 people have saved it. Like, so you don't even know what probably saved is on Instagram. You can save clips to watch back later. So everyone loves those sort of stories, mate. I know some really good ones from you over the years. I said to Lukey after every maybe once a month I'll try to get a couple of good ones out of you like that where it gives you an insight into what you were like
and
as a
how
player,
times have changed
and how times have changed and how some of the stories were from back in the day. So again, follow us on Instagram plus 1100 off the back of that story.
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus either. No, you just not those stories. I throw myself under.
Well, you mentioned a couple of rookies. So if you wanted to.
Yeah, you deep dive into
that. If you wanted to deep dive and go look and find out who the rookies were, you might be able to figure out who
players you know about that.
Figure out who Mace's gang is. But yeah, follow us on TikTok. TikTok's even crazier. TikTok is crazy at the moment. So plus 4,400. That was on Saturday once I updated that, so it's probably more. And leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. All right, mate. Let's get to our appearance at.
The Olympic Hotel.
Down in Melbourne. I want to read this out for you too, by the way.
Right.
This is a giggle. So on the Punters and Dribblers page, someone posted this. It's got on the advertisement as the headline, "This is huge. 3 Origin legends joining us for one exclusive night," right? So I got hammered. And someone, the comment goes, "Horoscope, the Origin legend, ? Love you, Horo." So this is the Hello Sports page.
Yeah.
And then someone wrote, Hoz has played 23 Origins by association, by being best mates with Ches, which he's told us a lot more times than 23 times. So, true. By association with you and Ches, I'm an Origin fucking great. But I am emceeing the afternoon. It's Tuesday, the 25th of June. Tickets are from $45, dinner and show $85, arrival at 6 p.m, dinner 6:30 p.m, show 7:30 p.m. So it's me emceeing with the big fella Mace and Greg Inglis, which I'm pumped about. So I'm going to be doing my probably research a little bit more. Yeah. I know how to work with you. I've never done something with GI before, so I'm looking forward to that. Mate.
It'd be good. It'd be good fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to Walshy in the Olympic Hotel.
Olympic Hotel, that's the location. And that's on Tuesday, the night before. So if you're a Melbourne local or if you're flying down from Queensland or New South Wales the night before, come and see us, come and buy tickets and we'll have some good yarns. We did a few gigs at Magic Round, and I got some really good stories out of the big fella. That he tells some good stories on here, but there are some you just can't tell.
Yeah. No phones.
Put the phones away. So come and see us. But yeah, let's get into the show. Hey, mate, so let's quickly start and do a quick recap with our Levels Bets Friends recap. Queensland -1.5, tick. Hamiso WI Fido $3, tick.
Shit.
Got that nice and early. Tigers +8.5, got spanked. Dream Bullet did not score either at $3. I got the South game though. South plus 1.5, too good with Cody Walker anytime, 350. He got 2.
Yes.
Cowboys minus 1.5. Valea, really good performance from the Warriors, Mace.
Best performance of the year.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yep.
It was up there.
They look sharp.
Broncos minus 4.5. No good against the Sharks, who were really good as well. Piakura, 350. He didn't get over. Knights plus 12.5. I want to get on that game. I thought the Knights were really hard done by in that game. Marzu didn't score as well. Manly plus 7.5 looked good for about 25 minutes, and then the juggernaut of Penrith just keeps rolling. Olakuatu got injured, so I didn't get him. Eels minus 2.5, no good. Like I said, it's no longer King Gutho, it's King Critta on Monday night. What a performance from Stephen Crichton and the Bulldogs, which we'll get to in a bit. So for those that aren't aware, I've been putting $10 on every one of these bets every week. So I've outlaid $2,180. Currently have the kitty at $2,052.50. So I'm down $129 on the year, but I'm doing that responsibly, of course. And if you need free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858.
Yep.
OG, this is our favourite part of the week, and I want to add some context to this as well. Me and you have been doing this now for 18 months.
Yep.
And it was a tough year for you last year. You come in, you do the show for levels, and the Bulldogs weren't going great. And you know, being an ambassador and being around and being a proud Bulldog, I knew there was some episodes where you'd come in where you're a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think I was probably more critical because you
just couldn't say.
You just wanted to say the less I say, the better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I was watching that game last night, and I was going for Parramatta, but there was a part of me that was like, I'm happy for the Bulldogs, obviously happy for you, and probably more so I'm happy for Cam Cireldo because he copped a lot last year with the success that Andrew Webster was having. And him leaving, both being the assistant coaches, but you can see that Cam Cireldo is a good coach, and we mentioned him at the start of the show. Your BSC dog of the week.
Yeah, I couldn't go past it, and I never do. I try to steer away from Bulldogs players because it was a little bit biased, but I can't go past Stephen Crichton. That performance yesterday. I'll just read. This is stats don't do it any justice. Like 2 tries, 1 try assist, 148 meters, 3 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist, 2 offloads. They're pretty good stats, right?
Good
it's
stats.
just a full-on, just a
Across
great
the board.
game. Defensively, outstanding.
It's a triple-double in basketball terms.
He's triple-doubled.
His stats galore.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's just his leadership and just the way that he approaches games, you know, the way he talks, his body language all the time, the way he gets when after tries, how he's getting everybody in. They're all little things, all the details that I see. And they really, really they listen, right?
They do.
It's a 23-year-old kid, right? Telling grown-ass men what to do.
I love it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no kick out there. There was no Fox there. It's a lot of games there. He's the captain out there. He just gets everybody going. He inspires everybody. Some of the shit that he did, like those tries along that right side, when Connor Tracy was just skinning him. It was because that was the plan that he had around about probably 20 minutes ago. He goes, we're going to get him here on these little lines that because he kept knowing that he was going to push in. Was it Panasini or Russell?
No,
Russell.
Dijon Arcee got caught on left centre.
Kept getting smoked and kept coming in on him, and he was around the back because he goes, because you got to look at Critta. You got to go, okay, he might get the ball here, and he got him. He was running those beautiful lines because he was breaking really late on him. So Dijon Arcee had to sit there on his heels a little bit.
Russell panicked.
Bang, skin. Happened twice. And that's the one that when they pulled the trigger to get that try, Blake Wilson was fucking outstanding as well.
He's been really good, mate.
Really good.
Yeah. He's not a guy that's going to blow you away in terms of like athletically or, he's not the fastest. But he's a goer.
Yeah,
he's a goer. That's the best. I guess that's the most the best compliment I've got for him is that he's going to be in the game. Like you can tell, he's
going to compete.
Limited in terms of like height, strength, speed. But he's going to give it his all every game.
He's going to get because he works hard.
Yeah,
you know, like when we got him down from Q Cup. He was like, when you give your highlights are your fucking highlights, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't they? You're not going to tell them how many times you fucked up.
Even I've got good highlights.
In your defensive systems and all that kind of stuff. It's a totally different defensive system that Ciro has.
Yeah.
Took him a while to acclimate to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially the runs coming out of yardage, you're a winger. Like, mate, you get pumped. It's a totally different feeling, mate. And some of his runs coming out of yardage in the last couple of years he's toughened right up. So I think he could be a player of the future, big time for us to sit on that wing. You know what I mean? Like I think he showed that brilliant run that he at the end of it, he probably shouldn't have passed. If it did go over to Carraz probably scored.
Yep.
But that run, that was unbelievable. It was coming out of his right corner, step, straightened up, got straight through. But like, back to Critta anyway. He was the one that got those guys involved, because I remember him talking to those guys, to those two guys, going, he's coming in on me all the time, hold the ball up, and then late, and then fucking boom, Connor Tracy. You know, he was that fucking quick.
Connor Tracy's been up there.
He's been outstanding.
Stephen Crichton's the buy of the year, but Connor Tracy ain't far behind.
Yeah, I knew last year when I was watching Connor Tracy for the last couple of years when he was filling in a fullback for Kennedy, I was like, he does everything that I like, because he runs and he attacks, and there's no stepping around, fucking around.
Actually,
he attacks.
Let me quickly cut you off. I think it was the Cowboys game. We were in New Zealand. We're watching the game, and you even said to me, "Fuck, is Connor Tracy the best option for them?" Was it that game when they played the Cowboys? Was the Sharks versus Cowboys? We're watching a game together, and you said Connor Tracy might be the best option for the Sharks.
Yeah, he does, and then
he's come over to the Bulldogs.
Then Kennedy's like obviously
solid.
He is solid as you're never going to drop that guy. And then he was behind the 8 ball straight away.
Yeah,
because Taff had the spot.
Yep.
So he's worked hard, had few little injuries. Now he's our man.
He is. Yep.
He is. But anyway, well done, Stephen Crichton, King Critta. Body Science Dog of the Week.
Body Science Dog of the Week. I'm just going to add a little couple of things to that. When I first, like I said at the start of the show, when he was announced to be captain, now I look back on it, at the time I was like, is this a bit, the trials? He played 20 minutes. He was barking on the sidelines. I was like, is it a bit for show?
Much, yeah.
Is it a bit too much? I was so wrong. Like, Stephen Crichton doesn't care if the cameras are there or whatever. His leadership is so evident now. And another part of it, I love my depressors. I love coaches and captains, the way they handle losses. And I guess for me at the start of the year, that's when I started to lean towards Stephen Crichton as a captain, the way he handled himself, the way he spoke. Because I never really heard Stephen Crichton speak too much outside of, those... The funny
little things,
the funny shit that he did with Jerome and Bizzer after the game, and they're basically taking the piss.
And that's looking at Penrith's Instagram.
Yes,
looking at
even on Channel 9 and Fox.
I know, but it's like he's never been that serious. He's always been the heart and soul and the joker of the whole group.
Yes, and there was a few times I was watching the post-match presses at the start of the year when they weren't going well.
Yeah.
And I love the way he spoke. I love the way how in unison him and Cam Serralde were. And now there are a couple of times now after wins where you can tell they've got something's been said and they both laugh together.
Yeah,
it's
good to see Ciro happy too.
They're so in sync. Yeah, because one, it's good to see Ciro like that, but they're so in sync, them two in particular. And I was like, ooh, like he's an extension of the head coach.
Do you know what he could come away with this year? Buy of the year, centre of the year, captain of the year.
Yep.
Those three things.
Quite easily.
That is massive.
Yeah.
Just...
And Serralde's up there for coach of the year candidate. Yeah.
If we can we make the 8, we'll get in there.
Where are you sitting currently right now? Let me
8th, I think.
Josh Curran.
Equal 8th.
I hope Josh Curran's all right too, by the way. We'll get to breaking down the game. 7th.
Presto did his ankle as well.
Fuck, mate. He can't catch a break. He's so tough.
Such a good kid too.
He's so good. Yeah. So I just want to try to break it down. So you've played 13. You've got 16 points. So you got 7 wins. Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit more as we go because I've got a team to watch out for, a team that lost that we'll get to in a bit. But my BSC dog of the week, Latrell Mitt. That's it, baby. Latrell Mitt. So you're either in one camp or the other with Latrell Mitt. There's not many people that are very level with, there's levels to this. Yeah. Level with their what's the word? Feelings towards Latrell Mitt. He's a very polarizing figure. You're in the camp of you don't like him or you love him.
There's no middleman.
I guess I've always been a fan of Latrell Mitt because my eye test, he's arguably one of the most talented players that I've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years,
10,
like
20,
you talk about, you go through decades, I guess, and we're talking to. I'll just even say 2020s. Yeah, I understand the criticism sometimes comes with Latrell, which sometimes is from his own doing, but then there are circumstances outside of anything that he can do that people are going to be critical of him for sure. But he puts together a performance off the back of an Origin 1 loss with a lot of pressure. 3 or 4 games removed from suspension. Again, that's one of the things where I'm like, he's got to be better. The suspension that he had in that Warriors game was not good enough. But he's worked himself back into some form. I thought his first couple of games were better than what people were giving him credit for, but because it's Latrell.
I thought he started the year off good. I don't know why everyone's gone, he's out of form.
Well, the 2 games when he returned, they lost both of those games, and he had some moments. And if you're listening to commentary, in particular the game against the Dragons, Corey Parker hammered him on a couple of times.
Fucked.
Missed a couple of assignments, but he does so much good that people always focus on the bad. So I'm going to focus on the good. 1 try, 3 try assists, 135 metres, 4 tackle breaks, 5 offloads, and a try saver on Khan Pereira that I've highlighted.
Twice. You got him twice, didn't he?
Well, Khan Pereira dusted him the first time, right? Okay. So Khan Pereira scored the first time.
That's a fucking quick human.
He showed him the outside. Khan Pereira dusted him on the inside, and he turned everyone inside and out, right? So Latrell was trying to show him, and it's crazy to think that how fast and powerful and cocky Latrell is.
Yeah.
Because Khan Pereira, I reckon...
you don't fuck with him.
I reckon he's got the now that Fox is getting a little bit older and a little bit more banged up, he's got the best short area quickness.
Yeah,
not speed.
I agree.
Jason Saab fastest. Khan Pereira quickness over 20 metres, and Latrell sort of showed him the outside a couple of times, thinking. And credit to Khan Pereira, takes him on the inside, beats a couple of more, and scores the try still. I don't know how he did it. But the second one, he shows him the outside, tackles him.
But it's
looks at the crowd on the right and smile. I find him so entertaining. Like, I am a neutral. Like, whether Latrell plays good or not, it does not bother me. Even though I'm a fan of his.
But the funny thing is when he had him wrapped, I just say that's the sideline there, and he tackled him, and he's laughing at the crowd.
The crowd on the right.
He's got him around the legs.
So good.
And then just like, I just love that, how it was just like, that was a beautiful play, right?
Yes.
Between 2 Indigenous brothers going at it, playing footy, and then just going, I could get you. I got you first time. I'm going to try and get you on the outside.
Yeah.
I got you, Trell Mitt. I'm the young kid coming through. Nah, son.
You know what it is, mate?
Son.
You know what it is, and I feel like, for better or worse, and sometimes he gets passionate and goes the wrong way, he enjoys the game of rugby league. He to be able to, in that moment, look at the crowd, have a smile, get the crowd pumping. All the Titans fans were being going, fuck you. Like, they're dominating him. He's killing it already. It's a reason I love watching Latrell.
And that's the thing. What Latrell do you guys want, right? When he's aggressive, we don't like it. When he's happy, we don't like it. You know what I mean? He's not taking the game serious enough. Like, shut up, man. Like, this is a young kid from Taree who just loves playing footy, loves going back home on his farm. He's a country boy, loves these boys that he plays with, wears his heart on his sleeve. What else do you want from a human? What he does for the Indigenous community and everything like that. Says some shit that, like, he believes in, and then you criticize and criticize and criticize.
We live in a world now, especially with our athletes, where they're going to become robots. Like, eventually you're going to be so diplomatic, and I talk about it in our game in rugby league. I always go back to this story. Eddie Hearn was on Sky TV, which is the channel in the Super League that shows all the Super League games. Yeah. And he talked about, you've got good, young, powerful athletes, good-looking athletes that don't like each other, that get to press conferences, are diplomatic and don't tell you how they feel. He goes, if you want to promote the game of rugby league to get people who aren't interested in the game, then you need to have characters in your game. And Latrell's one of those, right? He's the perfect example of it. Like, Gold Coast Titans versus South Sydney Rabbitohs, is it a game that interests me? Probably not, but Latrell Mitchell's playing. I watched it because I'm going to watch every game, but because Latrell Mitchell, I'm probably locked in a little bit more. And even on the flip side, David Fafita, I was intrigued to see what David Fafita was.
How good was that battle with him and Cody?
Best. So good.
Cody, pick your battles, bro. I just love the fact that Cody's went, come on, fuck you.
Yeah, and didn't back down. Neither of them backed down.
But I just loved that it was no animosity there. It was just too, I mean, like, you know, it's David versus Goliath there, but, you know, I love Cody.
David. Yeah, but David was Goliath.
First.
David was
Cody Goliath.
But the other part that I noticed, and I think it's going to be a real benefit to South Sydney moving forward, Jack White in 6, Cody Walker 7. I like it because what it does is it brings Latrell's kicking game into it a little bit more often. I think Latrell should be kicking more. He's Yep. You're right. As in
natural strikers, man.
Yep, that's a good point.
And Birdo.
Birdo kicks him all right too. He goes all right too. But with regards to South Sydney, like no disrespect to Lockie Ilias, Hawkins, and even the new kid, Tiopo or Dean Tiopo, whatever his name was, who was filling in for a couple of games. I want to see Latrell kick the ball more often. One, because he's not that energizer fullback that we're all accustomed to, like James Tedesco and Dylan Edwards, so he's not going to chase the kicks anyway. So you're better off him just launching a few up there. He ended up targeting Pereira with his kicking game and come up trumps a couple of times. Yep. And I just think he's just like a beautiful kicker of the footy. Now, on top of all of that, this brings me to my main point. When I was watching the game, New South Wales versus Queensland, and this is to do with the kicking game.
Pop guns.
You've got Daly Cherry Evans, kicker of the footy, really good kicker of the footy.
Great.
Benny Hunt, hooker, kicker of the footy. Reece Walsh, beautiful kicker of the footy. Now he got ruled out. It is what it is. Tommy Dearden, probably not the best, but he does kick, but he's not an elite kicker. I wouldn't say Tommy Dearden.
More accurate.
Yep. And then you've got Harry Grant, who, again, he's not an out-and-out kicker, but can kick.
Holy shit, I didn't think of that. There's like 6 kickers.
Right. And then so you go to New South Wales. You had Nico Hines. Well, he is a kick.
I'm just saying, like, he just wasn't on that game.
Yes, but like with regards to kicking games, at week in, week out, Nico kicks a lot for New South Wales. Jerome is probably second fiddle to Nath. He's been a lot better since Nath's been out. Tedesco can't kick. Reece Robson can't kick. Cam McInnes off the bench can't kick. So you just take away a few options. Now, if you've got Latrell, I don't want my centres going into the game with the ability to kick, but if you put Latrell on the left with being able to go that 2 pass, then kick into the corners, Stephen Crichton, who's a decent kicker of the footy. Now, I should have mentioned Crichton before, but he's not
a natural kicker. He doesn't try and get in there.
If he's on the left, his kick's not going to be as
right
potent.
Side centre.
So if you put him on the right, he's got that right foot kick, which can cause some problems off a 2-pass shift as well, which I think is important. So,
it'll fix that. Moses and Burton.
Yeah.
Moses. 2 beautiful kickers of the ball.
Yep.
And then Latrell. Appy's got a kick. There's a lot of options there for that second game.
A few more options, isn't there? Yeah. And also the last little bit. I think that's it. We'll get to that in a little bit once we talk more origin selections. Yeah. So let's get into this. Okay, mate, let's get to this. This is our YouTube reply and comment section. Mace, honestly, I went through it. There were so many. Yeah. It's a very passionate time for a lot of people around Origin. A lot of people were critical. So I just picked out one, which is probably the most level, and then we can address everything off the back of it. But we had 672 comments. 48,000 views, obviously, so that's huge for our show, and that shows how big Origin is. Yeah. But 672 comments, and there's probably like 10% of them are people that can write a comment and just be like, this is what I thought, pros, cons, and be level-headed.
Yeah. And just don't bag our point. Just fucking have yours.
It's not even completely bagging our point, bagging each other, fighting each other.
I know. It's crazy, mate. That's why I don't look at comments. I'm just like, they want to fight each other. That's Origin for you. That is Origin.
This one's from TK, and I think I agree with this for the most part. Respectfully, the only person who ruined the contest was SUA'ALI'I. Yep. Unfortunately, and hate to see it, but it's true, went for a massive play, which I agree with, and just got it wrong. Yep. Queensland still win regardless, in my opinion. The first try was a pretty good indicator. DC and Hunt like a fine wine. So some good points in there. Yep. Do I think Queensland were definitely going to win the game in that first try? You can't say that. But it didn't look great the first 7 minutes before he went off. No. My first question is, do you think Reece Walsh was being targeted?
I think every person like Reece Walsh gets targeted, like everybody does. I mean, like if you've got that X factor and you're that sort of player, your head is on a plate. it's just Origin, and that's just the way it is. I remember
if you're a star player,
if you're a star player, I remember 2004 series.
Yep.
Billy Slater killed us.
Yep.
Guess what happened in the next game? His head was on the plate, and we absolutely smacked the shit out of him. Billy was young, man. He was 20, 21 years. It wasn't Billy Slater of 2014.
Yeah.
Like, we kicked to him on purpose, and this is when you could pick up and head slam and do all this sort of shit.
Rough him up.
And rough him up big time.
You really push the line as far as you can go.
So I think it was Heine, Fitzy and myself, like someone had him legs, chest, and I had his head.
Yeah.
And we just bang, and he dropped the ball, and I can't even explain what I said. It was fucking brutal, right?
Now the game has changed.
The game has changed, obviously, but I'm just saying that is what happens when you kill another team. Like when you're like a Reece Walsh and a Billy Slater and all these guys, where you can actually get your hands on, right?
Yeah.
You can't put Greg Inglis's head on a plate, because he will fucking smack you. Do you know what I mean? But when you're not as built as a Greg Inglis, and like Reece Walsh is not a big man, you can still get a hold of him and pump him. You know what I mean? Like, so little things like that, it happens. Like you need to. Not saying that SUA'ALI'I come out there and just tried to actually take his head off.
Well,
he just got it wrong. He got it wrong, and. He's right. Respectfully, he's the only one who ruined him. He ruined it himself, because he just when you dance with the devil like that, you're talking millimeters and milliseconds. That would have been one of the biggest hits I've ever seen.
It could have been perfect
on his chest, but it just happens. He slipped. He's already set, and bang. So that's what happens. But it is 100% targeted. I'm not even going to say that it's not, because I know how it is.
Well, I'll throw this to you. Queensland. Before this happened, because they would have had to tweak their game plan, and both teams would have changed on the run. They would have 100% targeted Nicho Hynes in this game. But it wasn't required, because they had the one-man overlap. They got to play footy in there. But when it comes to kicking the ball, and when it comes to putting pressure on after the pass, for sure they would have roughed Nicho up.
Yeah, Nicho's
that would have been a part of their game plan.
You know, in the forwards, Payne Haas is on there because he's their main guy. You know, but good luck trying to stop Payne. Again, but like that's he's always. But you're going to get three people at him all the time. So, with Nicho would have got a lot of traffic, and every time he ran the ball, he would have got his legs taken out. The third man in, hold him up, hold him up, get double underhooks. People coming at his thighs, people coming at his hips, ribs, all that kind of stuff. So all these little things that go on in the game, it happens. It's Origin.
It's what comes with being a star in our game.
This is what happens. If you're a star in the game, you're going to get it. And if Origin is the pinnacle and it's the toughest thing you could ever play, you just got to deal with it. Not saying high shots, but all the other stuff, all the rough shit, you got to deal with it. So I think I agree with him. You know, SUA'ALI'I, he's the one who's sitting there going, he let that he did a post like, I let my family down, I let everyone down.
He didn't.
He knows. I know he didn't, but he knows what he's.
Yes.
He feels so fucking bad.
Yeah, of course.
He doesn't want to do that to Walsh. Can you imagine if he broke Walsh's jaw and everything like the that'd be terrible. There's no way he wanted to do that. He plays the game hard and fair, SUA'ALI'I, and he just got it wrong.
Yep.
That's it.
That's fair.
And I get it. And I'm like, in the context of things, I don't think he deserved a send-off because it's Origin. That's it.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll still stand by that. I don't care. I've debriefed the whole thing. I'm just like, he slipped.
Yeah.
He slipped just as he was set. But then, I'm like, what do you do? What do you do?
Changed. Like I said, I agreed that it should have been at
10
NRL
minutes
level.
and give him 4 weeks.
But the one thing, he's slipping ever so slightly, but the way that SUA'ALI'I leaves his feet and cannonballs through, that's the fact that I've gone, nah. He missed it. He got his target wrong. He deserved to be sent.
And it wasn't like he hit him like just here, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's the one where it goes bang, bang.
Yeah, it goes bang, bang.
Double
imagine, can you imagine can you imagine if it was even later? It's here.
Yeah.
That's like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's lucky he's got 4. He can hopefully come back for the third game in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Decider, because we're going to win in Melbourne.
Yeah, I love it.
But I'm just here. I know he feels sorry. He takes full accountability for it. He's just needs to fix that sort of stuff up. In Origin, things happen quicker.
I was speaking to my brother. We went over to dinner on Saturday night, and me and my brother and my dad were talking about the game in New South Wales and Queensland. My brother brought up a good point. Because it feels like New South Wales have been chasing the series now the last couple of years, and frustration has led into things like this. Yeah. I feel like they've almost like lost their cool a little bit too much. You look at some of the incidents that have happened, maybe they're getting too emotional where they've just got to be able to like...
Just play footy.
Just play footy. Queensland play footy
better.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. Like you look at some of the, when they try to rough him up at Adelaide and there was like, all that push and shove. Don't get me wrong, Queensland are giving it just as good as they get it.
Fucking do.
But for the most part, I feel like New South Wales have instigated a lot of the stuff early on in the games, and that's probably been frustration and all this pent-up energy about getting there and banging in. They've maybe got to pull back a touch
and I think,
and get into some rhythm first before they start.
I think we'll just say our selections in the forwards, right? If I'm a Queensland forward pack, I'm going, they're coming through the front door. They think our forward pack is weak. They haven't picked Yowie there. They're picking McInnes. They've got Crichton. They've got Liam Martin. They've got Payne Haas. They've got Trebojevic. They've got Robson. All gun defenders. Me as a forward in that opposite pack going, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You think you're going to question us? You know what I mean? You think, what the fuck you think you are? That's the mentality that you carry into a game. You're not taking that shit. You want to fucking stack the deck like that? We'll show you. You know what I mean? That's how it reverses. Hit him with a reverse Uno.
Uno reverse.
But that's what I mean. I just know the mentality of Queensland and New South Wales. If Queensland did that to us, I'm like, yeah, that's us. They're disrespecting our forward pack, right? So we need to go up another 5%. And they went up another 5%.
They did.
They did, and that's all it takes.
They find a way.
That's all it takes.
Speaking of Uno reverse, I'll give you 3 Uno reverses on the selections.
Yep.
Now that you've again a week removed, some might be forced, some not forced. Well, SUA'ALI'I is forced. So straight off the bat, SUA'ALI'I. I think you said
Crichton, right centre, Latrell left centre.
Yeah. So you sweet with that?
Right.
You said that on Thursday, I believe.
Yep. Moses 7.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Luai's going to be there. If it's Moses and Luai.
So Moses has done enough in 2 games.
Yeah,
He's straight in for you. Okay.
Moses 7. Burton's on the bench.
Yep.
Luai's the 6.
I copped a lot of flack when I said having Burton on the bench with a hooker. You've got to have
the
versatility.
worst selector of all time. or Burton is on, or Burton starts, but I don't think we can find another Burton to be on the bench.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I don't think Luai did anything,
I thought Luai was pretty good.
I thought Luai was pretty good. I think he's, he can handle that team quite well.
Yeah.
But I just think, Burton just as that safety blanket. He can come on and play anywhere. He's big enough to play lock. He's big enough to play in the back row if needed be.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'3" or 4" and 102 kilos.
I said that from the start. You can play him edge back row or play him at lock and play the 2-man. You can get to the 50 and have swing shape on either side with him in the team.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's probably
he prefers left. So you play him left with whoever plays left, maybe him and Jerome off board together.
I'm thinking I'm starting Payne Haas and I'm probably bringing Reg in.
Ooh, Reggie's another one.
Yeah, and I'm putting Jake Trebojevic to lock.
Okay.
I just think it stiffens up everything.
Yeah. McInnes back to the bench or out of your team?
Maybe, just got to figure it out what Olakau'atu's doing and Huddy Young.
Looked like he tweaked his calf yesterday in the game as well.
So I think Reg and Junior Paulo, this is the difference when Olakau'atu comes on, right? And I don't think he deserves to be dropped, but he's been playing on the right edge his whole career. He doesn't go past the left post. And then he gets chucked into the middle in an Origin game in a fucking washing machine against a Queensland with 12 men.
Yeah.
Dude, that's probably the hardest Origin debut you can get. And he still didn't look out of place.
Is it hard to be critical of anyone then in the team if you consider what they did for so long?
No, but I'm just saying if you had a Junior Paulo and a Reg, they know what's going on there.
I think Reg would have been better suited. I think Junior is similar to Jakey. His movement's been a slower player. Like, don't get me wrong, with the ball, Junior would have been great, just like Spencer was. But I think Reg would have been a better option to have on the bench during that time because Reg can move side to side. Reg can move,
so yeah. But I'm just saying, even if Junior Paulo come off the bench then, you've had both those senior players. The first game, you need experience, right? I get it with you going with a couple of other young kids.
Front row on the bench. Who did they have? Jakey. So they had McInnes, Olakau'atu, Hudson Young. Oh, Spencer. Spencer was there.
I love Spencer as well. I'm not touching Spencer. He was an animal.
Yeah.
But just a couple of little tweaks. That's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Through injury, I think Nico's probably injured. I think he needs to rest his calf just to maybe have a look at the 3rd game or just finish the year, the back end. Otherwise, his calf could just cause him some grief all year. And if you're Cronulla, you're like, come on, bro.
Yeah, well, Fitzy said...
He played 20 minutes, then he's straight into Origin. And then the last 5 minutes he comes off, then doesn't play for club. As I said, the most important team is your club.
Yep.
And when you're playing with that team, you're the highest paid player. I fucking expect you to play.
It's a funny one with
It's
Nico.
a hard one with Nico. It's hard.
So hard, mate.
It is hard. I know. I totally understand. I've never been in that position, but I know how important Origin is, and to prove yourself at Origin. And when you're not proven, you just want to keep fucking trying to get those opportunities to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where he's at.
Yeah.
He's proved himself at club football.
Yeah.
He's got a Dally M. He's one of the most consistent players. But as I said, when all these old pricks are around sitting around the tables at fucking True Blues dinners, what are they talking about? How many Origins you play? How good were you in Origin? That's what they fucking talk about, bro.
But for me, and I keep going back to this, I still don't know with Nico. Like, we weren't given the opportunity.
Might have to wait.
Like, and we might never.
Yeah.
Like, if he misses this now, right? So if Moses comes and plays in this game, which a lot of people in the know, if you watch any of the media, you get a pretty good indication of where who's going to be in the teams. You just listen to the right people. I have a feeling Mitch is definitely going to be in the team, whether it's Nico, whether it's Jerome. If he misses his window, Nathan could be back for 3.
If Nico is fully fit and his calf is 100%, you're picking him in game 1. I wouldn't have had any doubt.
Yeah.
But why do you think when he was kicking, it was going like 40 metres? Because you can't drive off his leg, off his plant leg.
He wouldn't have
He didn't have
confidence in it.
Yes, and that's why it was going like, that's why. So it's got some big decisions. And obviously if Edwards is fit, he comes straight back in. So that's a whole different fucking dynamics there. That's a beautiful team, I reckon.
Yep, it's looking good. We'll have to...
we'll break that down next week.
We'll break it down next week.
That's what I'm thinking now after decompressing the weekend, thinking about, and then I saw Reg play yesterday. I'm like, I need that starting a game.
So there's some big games
back
coming
fence
up.
shit.
Some big games coming up. Reggie is playing in a big game too this week. So I looked at Moses, had a good audition for Origin this weekend, and Latrell's playing the Broncos too, which is perfect.
I just think they should slide straight in. And,
Para playing Roosters.
Look at the narrative that's changed now.
Yeah.
We need Latrell-vision and all this sort of shit. Like, fucking, where was this 6 weeks ago? You're just hammering the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Controlling the narrative that he wasn't good enough. Some fucking wanker commentators were just like hammering him the whole time, picking on every single thing that he did wrong 3 weeks after he was suspended for 3 weeks. I get it.
Yeah.
Come back a little bit rusty and acting like he can't play anymore.
You know what my biggest pushback on it all
fucking
has
hate
been?
that shit.
Right? Is the culture one, right? Is he good for the culture?
Is he good for the culture, for the club?
If this is my thoughts on that, and we'll put a bow on and then we'll move on to some of the bigger stories. If I'm coaching New South Wales, and it reminds me of having that luncheon with Gus and the players he picked, players like yourself who were big personalities and big characters in the game. If I'm coaching New South Wales, I'm the culture.
Yeah.
I determine the culture. I would be that confident in myself to go, I don't give a fuck who comes into or how they're perceived at club level. You come in to be coached by me at New South Wales.
Yeah.
You think Billy worries about how he wouldn't be able to handle Latrell? If he thought Latrell was the best player for the division, he would pick him and he would go, this is your role, this is what you're doing. And Latrell, like I said, Latrell's 3 from won every series he's played in. They've lost every one he hasn't played in the last 6 years.
You put him.
I'm the fucking culture. Latrell's
who's the right centre there? Who's the right centre for Queensland? Val?
Yep.
Be shitting himself.
Yeah, and that's another
That's another thing. He's the only one who puts fear in Queensland. Queensland was probably going game 1 going, yes, no Latrell, no danger, no aggression, no fucking grabbing, just really setting the tone with shit, right? That's what he does. He's a big game player. I get it, and then I just don't get it because he just had a tumultuous start to the year, just was in, you know what I mean? I get it, but I just think I still would have picked him because he can just play. Yeah. He's an
The reason you didn't have him in your team is because you knew that he wasn't going to be considered.
I just knew that. I knew it. That's why. Me, myself, if I was coach, he's straight in there. But I understood, I knew where MADGE was coming from. I knew where the selectors were coming from. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he just needed that to sit out and go, okay, well, now I need to refocus. Maybe they will probably look like geniuses now.
The best indicator too of how a player is perceived by the actual playing fraternity is Luke Keary talked about if there's any player in big games that he'd love to have next to him on Fox on the weekend, Latrell would definitely be there. And on the Sunday footy show with Matty Johns, Will Chambers was on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he said he was pumped Latrell wasn't playing as a Queensland
fan. It'd be like
fan.
me going, oh yeah, they're not playing GI. GI's got a bad attitude. Fuck yes. Sit out the whole series, please.
That's it. That's enough of that. All right, let's move on to the Tigers, mate. And there is trouble in Tiger Town again.
Shit, what the fuck is happening?
The West Tigers hit a new low on Friday night, crashing to a 56-14 defeat, but that wasn't the worst of it. West Tigers chief executive Shane Richardson said that the club has no intention of releasing Lachlan Galvin after it was confirmed by manager Isaac Moses.
Oh, God. Why does he always have to manage things that just always cause shit?
That he contacted the club on Thursday about a release. This is off the back of last week, the news around Stefano Uto-Ukimano. He was offered a 5-year deal worth around $800,000 a season in a bid to keep the front rower, and he declined it. All right, first one. Let's start with this one. Thoughts on Galvin asking for a release?
Why is he asking for a release? Is it money?
Could be.
Because he could be on a rookie contract on probably 120.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be correct.
Probably, this is what I'm trying to think.
Yep.
Someone's come to Moses, Isaac Moses, gone, we'll offer him 450, 500, something like that. And then he's gone back to the club. I need you to get to this amount.
Yeah.
I'm just saying 450 or what, it could be more.
I reckon it's more.
And then now all of a sudden he goes, I want a release.
Yeah.
And this could be a team like, it could be Parramatta, it could be St George, it could be...
So the two teams that have been reported that are keen are Panthers and the Roosters, but I'll go back to my understanding of how the game works.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's the Roosters.
This is the understanding of how managers work, and I'll go back to my best mate, Ches, and the situation that happened at Manly wasn't necessarily to do with Ches at all.
Yeah, I was there.
It was manager talk. This is early on. This is before I'd even got there. And all the unrest that had followed Ches was off the back of how he handled the contract negotiations early on, right?
Okay.
Knowing more details, and I won't give away too many details because that's a personal situation, but again, it goes back to management and how management handled that too. And I reckon knowing the history of Isaac, we all know about Isaac.
He's all about money and ruining clubs.
Well, you've got plenty of reasons to not be happy with Isaac from over the years. But I understand the business of it, and again, I can see where potentially we're trying to dot lines. Now, there's been reports that Galvin is just not keen to be at the Tigers because of he can potentially see what's unfolding at the Tigers and how they have been now for a while. So there's a part of me that's like,
I get it, yeah.
You look at the Luke Brooks situation as the perfect, do I become the next Luke Brooks? Do I extend with the club? And, 3-4 years down the road, I'm like, fuck, I should have jumped out early. It's a very tricky one. Now I'm like fully removed from the game. I can see it from both sides.
Yes,
I can see the club obviously want to hold on to a prodigy. They've got him for a decent price.
And pay him for nothing.
Well, they've got him at a decent price now, and he hasn't completely proved it, but everyone can see he's got potential. Now, again, going back to the history of Isaac, there's a part of me that thinks maybe Isaac is negotiating through the media here, and he's looking at Galvin getting paid on potential.
Can I ask you a question? Can he? Oh, probably a question for Clint Newton. Can they talk to other clubs at the moment? No. So obviously he has been talking. Allegedly he has been talking to the Roosters. The Roosters need a 5'8", right? And they've offered him a potential 600,000-700,000. I'm thinking that, and he's on probably about 120 with match payments, just something like that. Obviously, the kid's got potential, but I haven't seen fucking enough. Yeah, I've not seen enough for me to go, that's the next kid up.
Yeah,
I see that young kid from Canberra.
Yep, Strange.
I'm like, way more upside, stronger, bigger, faster, a little bit more acclimated to NRL already. Galvin's a bit more slender, a lot more. He's got a lot of potential. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
I want to see the contract for. I'd say Strange would be on the. What do you got there, Lukey? You got something for us in the background? I'd say Strange would be on the 450. 500 range, which I think...
What do you think he's on that?
He just got upgraded.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Strange just got re-signed.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Here we go.
So he's probably saw that market, and he's like, you're on board with him, Galvin. Same sort of, projected like that. I get it.
Yep. Do you think that's about right? 455?
I think it's about right because he has got potential, Galvin. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but I know the only reason why he's gone and trying to get a release is because some other club has gone, here's 600 or something like that. Roosters want their guy, allegedly, they'll get him.
Yeah. interesting.
Because they need someone for Keary.
Lukey's got this one. He sent this one through. Any club that is found to be speaking to Galvin's management or about his contract will be reported to the NRL for anti-tampering. That's from Shane Richardson at the Tigers.
Well, good luck finding out.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, of course, there's anti-tampering rules and all that sort of shit, but there's no way Isaac Moses is going in there asking for a release of a young kid, Galvin, for nothing.
Okay, I'm going to keep asking you questions and we'll keep going back in this. What if it's genuinely that Galvin is looking at the Tigers and going, this ain't it? Like, maybe he's a young kid and he's got aspirations of being a representative player, and he goes, without even the management speaking to the Roosters and Panthers going, Jerome Luai's leaving the Panthers, Luke Keary's leaving the Sydney Roosters. We might not have a contract or we might not be talking to those clubs, but I'd go, well, I think I'd rather play there.
I'm thinking if I'm Galvin and if he's thinking like that, he's a smart young kid. He's a very smart young kid.
Yeah.
And because when you play first grade for that team, you debut for that club, you got your mates there, you want to stay there for about 3 or 4 years and get some success.
Been in the system for a couple of years.
Been in the system, unless you see a genuine offer from 2 clubs like that and you go upside, pros and cons, and you're like, I want out. Because if you are Galvin, it's hard to put an old head on young shoulders. And if he has that mentality, he's a very smart little man. Because I'd be thinking the same as well.
Yeah.
If I think, where's my upside here? How can I potentially get the best out of myself? Look at these coaches, look at these clubs, look what they've done. They've proven they're always up in the top 4 system.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then I'm looking at, if you're Galvin, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
So Lukey just messaged, there's been a lot of chat, and I've seen this last night as well, about him playing through, he's had a needle to play with because he's supposed to.
And that is fucking awful. He's an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah. It's a badge of honour though, for me. Like, he's tough. That's a great sign.
He's been playing with a needle?
Yeah, he's been playing with a needle.
They shouldn't be doing that.
You don't think so?
Nah, not at that age.
Brace said last night on 360 that he did that early on in his career.
Yeah,
as well.
not when he was at the Bulldogs.
Okay. Well, that would have been it then. So Brace is obviously...
He would have been at the Roosters. No, he wouldn't have.
No, Brace said he did that early on in his career. He had an injury that he carried. I think that's quite common. Like, depending on the level of... like,
yeah, it depends on how bad it is.
Yeah.
I remember fucking being on a Kangaroo tour, did a grade 2 AC, and Hugh Hazard, God rest his soul, he would never needle any of us when we played. And this is playing for Australia, and all he did was rub fucking Sorbeline and aspirin together and then rubbed it on my shoulder. Did fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Straight away playing against the Pommies, boom, first tackle. And you just had to tough it through. You had to tough it out and just play through it.
But there have been plenty of players that have played with noodles on that before.
I know,
and
I'm just saying, like, you would have to be like your arm hanging off at the Dogs because they were totally against needles. You never ever played with them. I'm not sure what injury Braith had. Might have been coming into 2004, and I think when he set out a couple of games.
Yep.
Do you think he got injured? I think maybe his groin. I think it was his groin. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he played with something like that. But like,
I only heard that in talking last night.
It was known in the football sort of world that the Bulldogs never used to needle.
By the way, let's announce it too. We haven't announced it. You'll be on 360 tonight with Braith and Jammer, and you don't know who the 4th panellist is?
Not sure. Hopefully it's Buzz.
But you're going to be locked in every Tuesday, 360?
I think every Tuesday. I spoke to Braith last week, and he's like, would you be interested in coming on? I said, sort of and ahhing about it. I said, yeah. I said, yeah.
Awesome.
Wouldn't mind. I get on with Braith. Braith's one of my best mates. Jammer's a good dude.
Make sure you give us a shout out, Levels Network,
mate,
right?
Yeah.
So anyone who's watching this now, you can see the big fella on 360 with a good gang after that as well. What now? I'm trying to see, but look, again, I was listening to a podcast on the way in. It's funny. The general manager of the Tennessee Titans, and he was on Bussing with the Boys with Taylor the One.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to cut...
the coach,
Vrabel and Taylor the One. It's only like 6 months removed, so I knew we were going to talk about Galvin. And I was just it got me thinking about the business of the game. So I'm always trying to think, like I'm always trying to play devil's advocate with certain situations. With everything considered, you're Isaac Moses. You're the manager of Lachlan Galvin. What would be your advice to Lachlan Galvin now moving forward with this?
Well, I think Isaac knows what's going on with the coaching, with the CEO, with everything, what the club's going through.
Yep.
Stefano sort of not wanting to be there. He's your prop. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Like Bateman's getting a little bit on. Papali'i's going. where's your forwards, mate?
Yeah.
You know, where are they? Where's the next big up-and-coming kids coming through? If Stefano's not willing to sign right now for that much money, where's he going?
That's concerning.
That is concerning.
Yeah.
Right? So this young kid, Galvin, he needs to be in the best system.
All right.
So if I'm his manager and the Roosters and Penrith allegedly have been offering me...
Take the clubs away from it?
If it's a good system, I'm getting him out of there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just me looking after that young kid there.
Yeah.
Because he's going to cop an absolute hammering.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a part of...
a physical hammering, like if he hasn't got protection.
And emotional.
Yeah.
And psychological.
Yeah,
with like
and it could really
this is going to put him on the outer
fuck his career.
Yeah.
Like I see potential of him being a rep player. Do you know? So like imagine if him being in the wrong system for 5 years, right? And the blueprint's been there. Look at Brooks. Look at Moses when they stayed there for 5 years. It fucking nearly ruined their career. As soon as they left, like Brooks obviously took a lot longer, but it was when Moses went to Para, his footy just went like that.
He's here to 2026, so that factors in. All right, 2020, 2024, 2025, 2026. So he would have got a contract in the off-season before he'd played NRL, and he's probably going to be on, that factors in. This makes it tough for me now. Because I was going to say, ride your contract out, do it the right way, because reputation is as important as anything in this game. And the respect from your teammates. Even though I don't know what he's like. I don't know him personally, but even though you might look around at that locker room and go, oh, maybe these guys ain't it. Like maybe, down the road you might not feel that. You might have ties with other players that are in the competition, specifically guys that played with him at Westfield Sports League. If you think about Blaze Talangi and players like that, reputation does matter. And I go back to the Daly situation. He's completely changed the narrative now on him as a clubman at Manly and the situation. But it took him about fucking 7 years, 7 or 8 years,
100%.
And it took him. So here we go. Lukey's got something coming through again. You got something, Lukey? So Lukey's asked a question about you're invested in this story, Luke. This is the most invested Lukey's been in a story in a while. Must be watching a lot of 360 with Braith. He's got time on his hands, he reckons. Is it weird that his mum and dad are involved? So that's been reported as well, that Shane Richardson has actually gone to his mum and dad more than Isaac, or avoiding Isaac in this situation.
Nobody likes Isaac.
Well, also that's a situation where
he's not very well liked between GMs and CEOs.
Yes.
So you're going to go. Of course, you're going to go to the parents. Oh, it's great. Richo's he's a swindler from way back.
Yeah,
he's good. I mean, but this is at the end of the day, he needs good people around him that care about him. All right.
Yes.
Not just money. It's not all about money all the time.
Yes.
Him being happy. If he's unhappy at the West Tigers, make your decision.
My advice would be, and if I was the manager of him, I would say you're 18, 19 years old. West Tigers have given you opportunity. I can understand the frustrations and the way, if you're like looking at the way the results are going, potentially, you've got your concerns over Benji and his head coaching credentials. Even though I believe in Benji, I can see where Galvin would be coming from. I think character is more important because you've got a long career in front of you. I think a lot of people can see the potential that you got. I would be writing out the contract. I would get to the end of 2026 and go, you're going to make your money and then just do it the right way and move after the contract. Because like I said, I know it took...
But those deals could be up where those clubs...
I don't think so. I think if you're talented enough, you dictate. I reckon there's way more player power than there is in ever been in the game now.
I think so as well. But
and if you're that dude,
what if J. Cole just kills it?
Cole
over at Penrith.
Yes, that opportunity might go. You might miss out on Penrith, but if you're talented enough, who knows? Like 2 years is a long time. Imagine how appealing would it have been for a half to go to the Dogs last year.
He needs to be the man at that club right now.
Listen to that, mate.
Yeah.
Like how appealing would it have been to go to the Dogs? Would you have been looking at that Dogs position and going, "Oh, I can't wait to get my client," or "I can't wait to go play for that Dogs." 2024, I'm looking at that same Dogs team and I'm going, I wouldn't mind being the half of that team. Yeah. Like Toby Sexton's going good, but I think I can beat him out. I think I can control that team. I've got Stephen Crichton, I've got Bronson Sherry.
It's just how young this kid is.
Yes.
He's very young and he needs good people giving him good advice. He doesn't need an Isaac Moses trying to chase fucking money everywhere and just doesn't care about his longevity and his career. All he cares about is dollar signs. He's had a really good chat with some really close friends and some people that he respects, his parents, and some other people around. I don't know who his circle is, and really have a deep think about this because this is a big decision.
Yeah. You can it's still early on in the process. He can still pull back and look at it from an outsider and take a time to take a breath and go, look, what's best for me long term?
Yeah.
Or he could go, again, fuck it. This club ain't it. It's two wooden spoons.
We don't know what his relationship's like with Benji.
Benji has been speaking glowingly about him from day one.
Yeah.
So it might not necessarily be the relationship with Benji. He might be, honestly, as a young kid, he might be more mature than what you think. He might be looking at that club going, this club's had dramas now for as long as I've been alive, basically.
Yes.
They haven't. When was the last time they won a comp? 2004. When was the last time they've been in the finals? Maybe 8 years ago. Not like Luke Brooks never played finals. So I'm saying 8, 9.
2010.
10, that long ago? Far out. So he could be looking at it going, I just need to get out of this club. This club ain't going anywhere. But
that's what I mean.
I would be looking at I want to give Benji, just like I gave Cam Serrato 18 months.
Yeah.
I want to give Benji 18 months before I declare how I view Benji as a head coach. And Shane Richardson's got the runs on the board.
It's very nuanced, whatever it is. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. And I just want him to make the best decision for him.
Yep.
You know, if he's a West Tigers boy and he wants to make his name there, you know, like put the team on your back. They'll make you the franchise player. They'll do all that kind of stuff if you want that, because you won't be that at these other clubs.
Yep.
You'll have to earn your stripes again.
And what about Stefano?
You want to do that as a 19-year-old.
What about Stefano then? So Stefano's different.
Yeah, what's up with Stefano, bro?
Stefano has a mutual option, right? So if he doesn't play Origin this year and they don't make the finals, then he's a free agent in November 1. So
is that why he just...
So he doesn't have to extend.
Shit. Do you think...
so there's been a tinfoil hat.
So JWH is going from the Roosters.
Yeah.
That looks like
they're pretty stacked in the front row.
That could be a fit. Yeah,
Terrell May, Lindsay Collins, Spencer Leniu, Nafua White.
Imagine having him on your books if you can afford it. They got a treasure chest.
The team that he's been again.
Do you know what I mean? Like he wants to win a comp.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants to win a comp.
Well, James Fisher-Harris is leaving Penrith too.
Yeah, so there's options there for him. And he's, do you know what I mean? And when you get thrown that, and when you've been at a club like, I think Stefano's been there since he's probably in the 15s, 16s. You know, I think he was a Parramatta junior, saying.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
So say from 17, you've worked your way up, you played Origin there.
I think maybe he played 20. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you played Origin there. You're their main dude. You're their best forward. Yeah. And now you're like, fuck, I don't want to re-sign. Like, what's that about? I don't know. It looks like there's a lot of turmoil in-house, man.
Yeah.
It looks like people just aren't happy.
With the extension of Shane Richardson, I would have thought that all the external stuff that has followed the Tigers, I thought it was going in the right direction. This has me concerned about the future of the Tigers, because the one part when I was watching the game was like, yeah, they're having a crack. They're obviously working hard for Benji. I could see some cracks in Benji for sure. I've seen it now big time with the depressors, right? I've been watching things over the last couple of weeks.
How's he been going?
It's been struggling. And it's understandable.
Body language, give us an example.
Well, body language, just
how he's been saying it. Yeah. How's he been answering it? Just
the way he's answering questions have been less about, we're going to get out of this, staying positive.
Basic shit.
And then just now it's like we might have to make changes, and it's wearing on him, and he looks stressed and he looks tired. He had a good week in all the pressure that was associated with, he would have had, he's obviously gone away and had this break. And we talked about this on radio with Jimmy Smith as well.
Did you have a problem with him going to Fiji?
No. But here was my point on it. No coach in the NRL that I can think of has the social media presence of Benji Marshall.
No.
This is the problem, right?
No,
so
you're right.
Benji, someone asked a question about like Craig Bellamy doesn't go on breaks.
You don't know that.
Harry Grant come out and said Bellamy goes on breaks when they
Wayne Bennett goes on breaks all the time.
They all go and have a break, but they don't have social media, so they don't have a following.
And they've been coaches for 20 plus years.
And you don't see it. And the difference might be, rather than going to Fiji, maybe you go to Hunter Valley for the weekend. Maybe you go to Central Coast. Maybe you go
Toronto West.
Something like Toronto West. Shout out to Toronto West. But like that's the difference, right? And when Benji has the profile, which is if you're looking at it from a club standpoint, you're like, that's a benefit for us in some factors.
100%, man.
But having too much eyes on him is probably a negative.
How did they know that he was there? Did he put that shit on socials?
Oh no, I don't.
I think someone would have Benji's in Fiji. Straight at the fucking Telegraph.
So
that's what would have happened.
You could see the flights. Someone maybe at once he booked the flights would have made someone from the media aware.
I have no problem with it because Benji would have been non-stop working over there as well because it's a thing called a fucking iPad where you're just breaking down games and breaking everything down. So it wasn't like he's just fully unplugged.
Yeah. But I can understand if people were like, if you're fans, members looking at that going, he's taking
If you were coming first, would they care?
No. But they're not.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not. They're coming last.
I understand from both sides, but I'm just like, maybe take a trip in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. Overseas just feels like it's like
Definitely
you're going out of here for a holiday. That's what people's mindset is. You go to Fiji just for a holiday. He needs a break. He's a different kind of coach. He approaches things different.
He is. He's going to do his shit his own way. He's going to do
his thing. Like, doesn't mean he's less of a coach.
Yeah.
Right? So he just needs to find that balance, Benji. I haven't really commented on it because I don't really care.
Either do I.
Like it's just...
It wouldn't have been an issue for me as a player.
When I found out he went to Fiji, I went, good on him.
Yeah, if you're captain or you're a your leadership group...
Yeah, it would have been back in time and it's unless you had like definite meetings on and like a general manager meeting and all that sort of shit with the club. Like
4-day, 5-day refresh.
Nothing on.
Yeah.
So like...
And he looked like a genius at the start of that Dragons game. 10-0 they're up and they're travelling. And that's the frustrating part for him because he's like... You can see the way he's talking about, like, he's getting frustrated with a couple of certain players, but like, who do you bring? There's no one to bring in. Like, he's threatening dropping players, but like...
No, you're not bringing anyone in.
No one's coming into that squad.
With that squad's pretty solid. That's not a squad where they should be right now. They should be like around about 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Sitting on maybe 12, 14 points. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little bit too much.
It's very limited, yeah. It is very limited.
He has a decent team.
He's missed it. For about the last 3 weeks haven't been great, but there was like a period at the start of the losing streak where they were so close. The Penrith game stands out where they were so close.
And I don't blame any of I don't blame the coach. I don't blame the coach. I don't blame Benji.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get out there and execute players.
Yeah.
Like, you can give everything. You can give all the video. You can give so much information. I've witnessed it.
Well, what about
and then they just go out and they just not perform.
All right, mate. The other big news of the week is New South Wales Blues coach Michael Maguire has reportedly ruled himself out of contention for the vacant Eels head coaching job. That is according to the Daily Telegraph, who are reporting Maguire has informed Eels chief executive Jim Sarantino that he's focused on coaching the Blues, which is a big tick for the Blues in my opinion. Maguire signed a contract to lead New South Wales for 2024 and 2025. Parramatta Eels chief executive Jim Sarantino believes Michael Cheika brings a point of difference as he confirmed the former Wallabies coach is interested in succeeding Brad Arthur. Cheika is one of contenders ranging from current interim coach Trent Barrett, Cronulla Sharks assistant Josh Hannay, and Melbourne Storm assistant Jason Ryles. OG, with MADGE now ruling himself out, who coaches Para in 2025?
I'd like to see a Jason Ryles really step out of the shadows. He's been in the system for about 10 years now.
Been in the shadows now for a minute. 3 years.
Yeah, and there's always been promised that he was going to, maybe do the Dragons, maybe do, like Dolphins, all these other teams. Josh Hannay's smart. Jason Ryles, very smart. I'd love to see one of these young coaches get a go instead of the old fucking merry-go-round of coaches just getting another gig, get sacked, another gig. You know what I mean? It's just like the carousel never stops. So
what about the three candidates? Like,
I don't mind Cheika. Cheika's going to bring a whole different point of difference, right? He's trained. I mean, he's coached the Wallabies to a high level. He's very highly respected.
Do you think it's too far left to
I think it is too far.
Do you think
For a club like Parramatta, I don't think they'll go that far. I think maybe, I think a Jason Ryles would suit it really well. Like, he's been in the system with the Roosters there for years. He knows all the defensive systems, like the best defensive systems from Fitzy and Robbo. They're masters at it.
Yep.
He's been down there under Craig Bellamy's tuition for years. So, come on, there's got to be a lot of knowledge in that head. And it's a big head.
Yes, it is a big head. And I was obviously having Money's wedding at the break. Had a chat to Ryles as well.
He's a great man too.
He's got an aura about him, mate. He's quite impressive. I'd never met Ryles before the wedding, and I had a chat to him a little bit on the brekkie the next day.
Yep.
Feeling a bit dusty.
Yeah, he's a great man.
But it seems like he's next in waiting for Bellamy. But if you're Ryles, this Bellamy thing's been happening for 3 years. You've got to go.
And I think he thought Belly was going to be done by the end of last year.
Yeah.
And so he just keeps getting, he will coach as long as he wants to, Bellamy. And I think Ryles, he just needs to go, all right, well, at least give me a crack now.
Yeah.
And I think Parramatta, they're set. It's not like you're going to a startup.
I would say Parramatta is the best job that's become available in, say, the last 2 or 3 years that I can remember.
You got everybody there.
With talent, yeah.
Everyone there. And I just think, I think it's time for like a club like Parramatta just to go for some of these new young coaches, man. I mean, not young, they're in their 40s. They're my age, both these guys.
Yeah, in terms of like coaching career,
But coaching career is very young, but they've been around the block for a while. And I think Jason Ryles would bring a different look. Be very defensive orientated, which you need. He's still got those big boys up front, Junior and Reg, Cartwright, Lane. You know, you've got a decent team. Hopgood, Moses, Brown. The back line's it's stacked. It's stacked. It just needs someone like that. Just go out there and just get a new coach, get a young coach.
Yeah, you need to get
He's
this
a forward thinker too. Like he's there. He's been feeding off all the best coaches for the last 10 years. You don't think he's been sucking in all that information? Then I'm not sure what sort of assistant coaches he'll get. He might get a Matt King over there. You know, he could get someone, you know, I'm not sure who he's got there, but he'll have some really good people around him.
So Matt King's at the Roosters.
Yeah.
I think that's important, especially if you consider
good assistants.
Michael Cheika.
Yeah.
He'd need
a Jason Ryles. Someone like that.
Yeah.
You can't. Who else could he have?
Who did Michael Cheika work with? Was there any rugby league players that he worked with during his time? Because I know Jason Ryles did some time with Union, but that was Eddie Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With the Wallabies.
I'm not sure Check did.
Yeah, so Cheika coached the Lebanese team.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You work with Freddie?
Maybe. Well, Freddie was coaching Lebanon before Cheika, so I'd imagine Freddie would have had a
I think Cheika would be a good assistant just to start with, right? You can't just go straight into the head job.
I feel like there's someone we're not talking about. I reckon Parramatta, it strikes me as there's someone.
Blake Green, I heard, is in the mix.
Yeah.
Blake Green's been around the block for a fair while as well. He's been up in Newcastle and he's been Parramatta. He's moved back down here and I don't know.
Yeah.
Little things
I've
like
heard that as well.
Yeah.
I've good mates. I played high school all the way through with Greeny. Greeny was like one of my close mates.
Would he be an NRL coach?
I don't know.
Because you haven't seen him in action. That's why.
No.
You probably know Greeny as your mate back in school.
No, because Greeny is the biggest legend and nicest bloke I've ever met. Like Greeny still is me.
Absolute asshole.
But you can't.
No, I'm just
You've
saying.
got it, but you've got to have a bit of dog about you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and unless he can turn into an absolute asshole and just compartmentalise a lot, he might be a good coach.
You know who Greeny would remind me of? The fucking Titans one that got Holbrook.
Yeah.
Like, technically, as sound as they come, loves footy, can talk about footy. But, again, the one part I get sort of critical on coaches, or I think the top coaches have, they've got a bit of weirdness, got a bit of you can't fuck with them. And I don't know if players would look at Greeny and think that.
Yeah.
But he ticks every other box.
Yeah.
But the one box that he doesn't tick is he's too good a bloke.
Yeah.
And that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But having those tough conversations, potentially dropping people, having the players intimidated that you're going to fuck up around them. I don't know, man. Greeny's too good a bloke.
I think Jason Ryles is the man. I think Jason Ryles is the man for that job.
Yeah,
he's a big man. He's an intimidating human.
Yeah.
He knows his football. He's been around. As I said, like he's a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Played at the highest level. Played for Australia. Played for New South Wales. There's nothing that you can't get past him. And I just think he's ready. Come on, man. Like, what do you want to be, fucking 60?
Yeah,
Belly's going to coach for ages, man.
He's been on the candidate circuit for a minute now. By the way, let me just say,
Belly's going to keep going until they win a grand final.
If Greeny got Parramatta job, I'd be stoked for him and I'd be wishing him all the best. That's the one part that I'd just be worried about.
Of course.
Yeah.
I just want some of the, our era to come up there and start coaching. I just think the brains on some of these young men are fucking second to none.
Yeah.
And they've learnt from the best. They've been under the Wayne Bennett's, then Craig Bellamy's, the Robbos, and even as players, they've been under the best coaches in Origin, Ricky Stewart's, all the same tutelage that I've had. That's why we understand the game.
If you're looking at the candidates, then Jason Ryles would be the one that stands out. Probably Hannay second.
Josh Hannay.
With all that considered.
Daniel Holsworth's pretty good.
Yeah.
Daniel Holsworth over
Where's
there.
Where's Holsworth at now?
Holsworth at Cronulla. Assistant over there. Steve Price. The other Steve Price.
I think Steve Price has done his time. He'll just be an assistant coach now for the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of candidates out there.
Yeah.
They should they should interview a lot of people.
Whoever, like if I was coaching a team, I'd be put all my chips in and I'd give most amount of money I could give to Billy Slater if I could give Billy Slater. Billy Slater.
Billy's happy just being.
Yeah, he's got too good of a gig.
8-week coach.
8-week coach. Obviously, he goes all year round, but
best.
for 8 weeks and media personalities, there's no reason Billy would leave. But all right, mate, let's get into the footy. Fucking hell. Plenty of chat there. Game 1, the Dragons, we talked about this, 54 defeat the Tigers 14. Lomax outscored the Tigers 32-14. That is the second most in NRL history. NRL history, mate, not rugby league history, NRL history, behind Campese, who had 36 against the Panthers in 08. Mel had
34 like 2 years ago.
Who did?
Cleary had 34 points like 2 years ago, remember?
No, well, we did this on radio, and this is the stats that we had on radio.
Come on, mate. SEN don't fuck around. They got all the stats.
No, we'll have a look and get it confirmed as we're going through. Mel had 38 against the Roosters in 1990, and then a lot of the OGs back in the Dragons days and that, they scored the points.
Hasn't would have got up there sometimes, I think.
I'll ask you a question. Do you think Flano regrets letting Lomax walk right now, today? Seeing what he did in Origin, coming back.
You'd have to.
2 nights.
I honestly think they just don't get along.
Yeah,
there's something more than money.
It's a personality.
It's a personality clash. You know, I think Flano. He's a very old school sort of bloke. He probably wouldn't like the look of the Lomax, right? The way he's pretty flashy, and he probably come across cocky, and I don't think he's cocky.
I think he's got signs of cockiness.
He's got some swag about him. Come on, you know what I mean? Like he knows how good he is.
Yeah.
And I think. That can rub coaches the wrong way. All right.
So, Lukey just confirmed 34 points for Nace.
Lukey Middleton.
So, he is third.
All right. It's still a great effort. I just think, I think him and it's a personality clash. Yeah. And I think Lomax is going, where can my footy go like this? And he's going, let me get out of here. He's been there since he was a junior, right? Since he was like 15, 16, been in that system.
He's another example for Galvin where he might have looked at a guy that's been in the club for a long time.
I think Galvin's looking, and I think he's getting examples from his manager, right? Because his manager's looked after some very big names.
Yes.
And he's just gone, look what happened to this guy's career. Yeah. Look what happened if he had went this way. This, giving all these examples and then started feeding this.
Yeah, we spent enough time on that. Let's get back to
That's why. Yeah. Anyway, don't ask the question then.
Yeah, my bad. No, I asked it, and then once you started, I was like, actually, we've done too much of this.
So I think Lomax, he would be regretting it because the way that he's leading that team now. He kicks goals, he scores tries. He's just got that X factor that no one's going to have. You're not going to bring up the next kid, the next Zach Lomax.
You know what was funny? The back end of the game, he's just 2 days removed from Origin. You said it's a badge of honour. Ben Hunt, he was chirping Ben Hunt. I was watching him off ball because I knew he was on getting close to some sort of fucking
Zach was.
Record. Yeah, Zach. You can see because he scored 2 tries. He's kicking every goal. And I'm like, he strikes me as the sort of player that would be aware of it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And started chasing it.
Yeah.
And I've seen him. I watched him in the last couple of minutes. Like I said, you've played Wednesday night. You're outstanding. Like your first ever Origin. You're back now. You've shown that you back up for your team. Surely with 5 minutes to go, kick the feet up, go and relax. No. He comes steaming off the right wing, starts chirping at Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt's looking at him going, you can see Ben Hunt trying to concentrate on the play of where the play was going, but he's got Zach
he wants a crossfield kick.
Midfield bomb. He ran off the sideline to go get a midfield bomb.
Oh, it's the best.
Oh, he's the best. And anyway, so it doesn't I think he puts one up. So Ben Hunt puts one up for him. It doesn't fucking eventuate. But this is, again, you got to consider about 5 minutes before he levels Alamalo trying to do the same thing, go up, contest a kick. Sure, at what point are you, Zach, going, just chill, I'm going to play Origin.
I need to play game 2, not break a leg.
So there's pros and cons.
I love that.
There's part of me that goes, he's got that dog in him and he's going after the game and fucking credit to him. But there's also that part of me that's like,
pipe down.
He wants the points too much from my liking. Just chill. You got a long season. You got a long Origin series.
Career.
Just fucking chill out. Go sit back on the wing and enjoy being on the wing. And that brings
you got to love that about it, eh? You got to love about it. But I think he's thinking, I want the fucking record.
I want that points. Give me that points. Even when he kicked the goal at the end, he kicked the goal at the end. Right, it's over. They're pumping him, and he just goes boom, straight to the crowd.
Love it.
And for me, this is my next point.
Yeah.
Whoever the Parramatta coach is, he's playing on the wing for me next year.
Yeah, I know. What did we say when we were discussing this 10 weeks ago? We're like, What happens if he gets picked on the wing for Origin and proves that he's the best, one of the best wingers in the world, which he's doing right now?
Yeah.
I'm playing Blaze Solangi at centre and he's going to be outside him.
Outside of Brian Toto.
Am I right?
Outside of Brian Toto, he's been arguably the best outside back. I'm putting him over you got Dylan Edwards and all these sort of guys, of course. Take fullbacks out of it. They're an extension of the spine. When I say outside back, it's centres and wingers.
Yes, so this is what makes me bring back to my point of him
it's Toto and him.
Of him and Flano.
Yeah.
I think he just wants out.
Yeah.
He'll play wing or centre or whatever.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I reckon he wants to play centre.
Well, he's a better winger.
He's a fucking gun winger.
At the moment.
He's a gun winger.
Yeah.
And he can be more, he can have more an effect on the game. He can do that shit run from the sideline and go get those midfield bombs. He doesn't have to worry about defence like he does in the centres.
Yeah.
He's so much more valuable on the wing. Fuck, it's so funny. He's going to end up playing centres though, for sure. And this is another one. We're talking about Origin and talked about the badge of honour it is. Yeah. I was watching the game, Ben Hunt, who was outstanding again. Has he ever had the opportunity to not play post-Origin? That's my question.
Never. How the good teams... And he never will.
Panthers get to rest their players. Yeah. Roosters get to rest their players. They sent Teddy to fucking Byron Bay last year, remember?
Yeah.
Relax.
It's this, and it's St. George, right? So when you're on about 1.3 or whatever he's on, he's a marquee player. He's asked for a release, all this sort of other shit. They're like, you're getting every fucking minute out of you, kid. You're 35 years old.
Yeah.
Give him a rest. But he's about it, mate. He loves it. And that's what we could never, ever fault Ben Hunt. Even when he was asking for a release and he was in the turmoil of all that bullshit, he was still their fucking top 3 best player.
Yeah,
and that's all you want from your player like
one.
that. Yeah, he's the best player. And now, he comes back, he plays great in that Origin 1, and he comes back to this game. And the Tigers were on.
Yeah, they were. They started well.
Coruscant was putting a clinic on early.
Yeah, they were.
And I'm just like, holy shit. And then I went somewhere, come back, and it's fucking in their 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, then that would make Benji just go, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
We're up there, we're on these guys, we're all over them.
So what about this? This is my part on the Tigers. We touched a lot about it because I talked about the Benji presser. I felt like this is before I'd heard the news, right? The Galvin news didn't drop, so I did the note straight after that game. And I wrote down this. Now this looks like it's a funny comment now after it. Do you believe in resting young players for their own benefit? I wrote down, should they rest Galvin and Buller, even though they come off not straight away, not because they've just had a bye, but potentially the back end of the season, maybe completely rest Galvin and Buller and have a game where they don't go back and play New South Wales Cup. But I just looked at them, I went, hey, they look a bit fatigued. And then obviously the news breaks over the weekend. And
it's hard, man. It's hard. That's what I mean. To be week in, week out, the training, the amount of things that you have to do for the club, the West Tigers, you've got things going on all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's a full-time job. It's crazy. So to maintain excellency every single week
at their age,
in the way that
the team's been playing,
schoolboy stuff and everything and the amount of schoolboy stuff that they have to play. They have to play for their school. They have to play for SG ball when they're in there. They've got everything going on. Some of them play union. There's a lot of football going on with these guys. And by the time they get to the clubs are very wary of this. So when I was coming through the system, you played twice a week. I mean, you train twice a week with your club, and then you're in the SG ball system, and then you play on the weekend. You're done.
Yep.
You don't play. Schoolboy football wasn't that big when I was there. Now schoolboy football is huge. You're getting coaches going, oh yeah, we don't want you to play fucking SG ball and all this sort of shit. They're trying to compete, and these kids are believing it.
Yeah, that's
and they're playing a lot. So they're training 3 or 4 times a week with their school if they're at a good school.
Yep.
And then they're going to SG ball training or Jersey flag. I mean SG ball. That's right. 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week.
Yep.
So there's fucking 10 sessions, right? And then you've got to play on the weekend, maybe for your school, and then for the SG ball team. So that's a lot of football. So you do that for 3 years before you even get into the pros, and then wonder why these kids burn out by 22, 23.
Has Lachlan Galvin sort of skipped a couple of those things by being in first grade as well, though?
He would have been.
But in saying that, if that's what the SG ball players are doing and it's too much for them, imagine how hard it would be playing first grade
and training 5 days
a week.
Like a young kid, Mitch Woods, the young kid for the Bulldogs. He's going back playing that much schoolboy football, union and league. Just finished the SG Bull competition.
Yep.
And he's training 3 or 4 times a week with the Bulldogs. Plus his 3 sessions with Patrician Brothers.
Yeah.
Like is a lot of football.
It
So
is a lot.
this is a lot of football for a 17-year-old just turned 18. And a lot of these guys from that, when you're 17, turning 18 and you're still in school and you're at the top, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. And then
But they're keen as fuck to do it as well.
They're still keen, but then I'm saying like when the longevity is not there,
Okay.
the fucking soft tissue injuries start happening.
You've
all
got to
this
be
other
smarter
stuff.
on their behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take it away from them, Nelly.
Yeah.
So what's your main goal? Is it schoolboy football? Do you want to fucking play Australian schoolboys? Do you want to play for Australia? Fuck Australian schoolboys.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do you want to play New South Wales Origin, or do you want to play New South Wales 19s? Like, I didn't give you, or 18s, or whatever you want to think. Whatever
what's your
their
priority?
priorities, mate.
Yeah.
Do you want to play 200 games or play like 50 games? You know what I mean? Like that, mate. You want to get to the top of the game.
Yeah.
That's Australia. That's New South Wales. That's 200 games NRL, all that sort of stuff. That's the fucking upper echelon you want to be in.
Yeah.
Not the best schoolboy of all time. I
Yeah.
played with some of the best schoolboys of all
Same.
time. They would fucking swap a career in like that if they could.
Yeah, in a
You know?
heartbeat.
Have a look at the bigger picture where they're not looking at it. Yeah. You know, so a lot of these clubs are very wary of the amount of football that the 16, 17, 18-year-old kids are playing and training. It's the training. It's a lot of work.
The Tigers, Galvin, Buller, give them a rest at the back end of the year.
Oh,
even if it's
man.
on a
I mean,
bye.
but fans would hate it. Like, I get
Who
it
gives a
because
fuck about the
it's a
fans?
double-edged sword. But if Benji thinks that they need a rest them.
Yeah. So they've played.
I'm not big
12
on it.
games.
I'm not big on it, but I understand how much football these kids have been playing the last 3 or 4 years, and now they're in first grade, right? And now the training is harder, and now it's every day. The pressure's on them, all this kind of stuff, and you come and fucking near last. The pressure's on the club. You know, sometimes mentally the kids can't handle it.
Yeah.
Especially these 18, 19-year-old kids, man. The kids.
Yeah.
Hard one.
Buller's about
It's a
21.
hard one.
It is. It is a tough one. And that's what coaching and this is what Benji's now
Man
finding.
management.
Man management.
That's what man management comes into.
Yeah. When you go into coaching, you think everyone's fit. You think everyone
man.
you got the best intentions. You got like they're playing every game. They're improving. It's not the case.
The
The
coaching
hardest part is the tough times and
Yes.
and handling criticism, handling the media,
Dealing with the board.
Yep.
2 boards you got to deal with over there. You got to deal with the media. You got to deal with everybody else. You got to deal with 30 young men that you've got to coach, different characters, different egos. You got to deal with managers. You got to deal with sponsors. There's fuck all coaching. That's where your assistant coaches are in there doing everything for you.
Yep.
The videos, everything like that. You're just out there managing the whole thing. That's where guys like Craig Bellamy, Wayne Bennett, Ricky Stewart, Robbo and all that make this shit look easy.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while to get to that level. The first year or 2 in coaching, fuck, it looks hard. Look how stressed they look, these young coaches.
It's probably less about coaching the players. It's more about coaching your coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone
you're
on
a
the
head
same
coach.
page. No one undermining everyone. Everyone just working to the same goal.
I was going to do this, but it's all right. Now we'll get to it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Game 2, the Rabbitohs defeat the Titans 46-12. This looked like a good game on paper because the Titans have been a lot better, but the Rabbitohs were really good. Huge advantage. I talked about this actually already. The kicking game, Latrell from the game. That's 2 in a row since the bye in round 11, which we talked about. They're going to be a very dangerous team to meet at the back end of the season. I talked about Cody Walker, Jack White, and Latrell Mitchell. I like that. I like that setup.
What happens always with South, their forwards need to dominate. I love Kaloa-Matangi in the middle.
Same.
Because he's just straightening up the attack. There's not much ball playing going on. It's just fucking straight through the teeth. You got Jai Arrow doing the same thing. Your big Tommy Burgess coming off. Moale, the other brother there.
Yep.
Is it Moale?
He's improved heaps the last couple of rounds.
He's finding little gaps now. He's finding his front.
He was the player they expected to take
And
the
look
step.
what happens. Look who that engages.
Yeah.
Damien Cook.
Yeah.
Now Cookie can run again.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of if you dominate the game, if you dominate the ruck against South, you
take him out of
South, you take Cook out, who's their dangerous play because he ignites everybody. Cody Walker comes off the back of it, plays instinctive football, bang, bang, bang. They're all hitting holes on the left side, right side. He just creates so much. But if you don't run hard enough in the middle, you can beat South.
Yeah.
Because you
control the ruck, you control the game.
You negate everything that comes off that.
They're front runners.
Moale finding his front.
Yeah.
Big Tommy coming off the bench, off the pine, just fucking destroying teams.
Yeah.
Kaloa-Matangi just coming at lock, bang, straight through the middle. And then they can start playing football.
They're
Latrell
front
can
runners,
start
aren't they?
doing that. Oh, big,
Yeah.
massive front runners. And they look so dangerous like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, they get some of their players back. They'll get Cam Murray back in probably about a month or two. And, like, they'll make a run for it. I don't think they're stressed. I don't think they're stressed at all. I think, you know, let's just get this shit together. We'll get all because they can go. If anyone can go on a run, it's these guys.
They lost 1 out of the first 11 last year, and then they went on the opposite end of a run.
They can go on a run, and then whatever the opposite is on.
So they're a momentum team. They're the biggest momentum team in the competition.
They're on one now.
What about the Titans, mate? One thing that frustrated me was seeing Foz play on the right with Jaden Campbell on the left.
It looked like he didn't even play.
Why would you move Foz away from Fafita when that's been arguably the key to unlocking Fafita in the last 18 months? I thought that was weird from Desi.
Very, very weird from Des. I look like Fozzie didn't even play.
But you know also what it does? David Fafita is not the greatest defender as in with his work ethic. And you put him next to Jaden Campbell, who's a spot. Like Jaden Campbell in the front line is going to be a spot. So you defend them two next to each other.
Work harder.
They kept on targeting that edge.
Yeah, well, that's smart. That's smart. You would, as soon as you saw that, you go, oh my God, you got to put Jaden Campbell in the front line next to Fafita. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Straight down his edge all the time. Bang, 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 bang. Tied Fafita out. He had no gas left.
Yeah, he tried,
You know, he tried his ass because he's a big, strong human. Man.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to do that sort of stuff, but he wasn't fresh.
You know what? He probably wouldn't have been engaged in the game as much if it wasn't for Cody Walker getting him going.
No.
Cody was keeping him engaged.
Yeah, he did. And that's what I think the commentary's like, don't wake the beast up.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, fucking leave him alone, Cody.
I love it
But
from
I love
Cody.
what Cody did.
Fuck yeah, so do
right?
I.
Because they knew, I think Cody knew the game was in the bag. Right. It was. The game was in, there was 36-10 or something like that. It was,
I think
done.
Cody's got that niggle in his game. You've seen him lose his shit.
I love it.
Yeah. So
but I love it because Cody didn't lose his shit.
Yeah.
He had it was controlled.
Yeah.
It was like, you're going to get at this big bastard.
This is the one time where it worked.
He got thrown off twice.
Yep.
When he scored the try and then went for... You can't fucking give Fafita, mate. If he wants to run... I don't care if you are the best defender in the game and you go up top on that big man, you're going to get thrown off. Unless you're the polar bear like Trebojevic.
Yeah.
He'll hold on.
Yeah, there's not many that can.
There's not many that can hold on to that fucking raw power that Fafita's got, and I don't even think Cody tried. He just went, fuck it, see what happens.
Yeah,
got thrown off. Then he got ran over for the try, but who cares? Cody got him back when he knocked the ball on, and then he was. I love seeing that shit. I just love it when two people are passionate and they're going at it. And,
so good.
Two brothers,
I enjoyed this game.
but they embraced each other at the end of the game, and even at the scrum. It's good to see Cody Walker happy too, and he's not out of fucking contention for my Origin team either.
Ooh, there we go. There's a little.
I like that.
Just quickly before we move off the Titans, Keanu Kinney's been really good at fullback the last couple of weeks. I haven't seen a game yet. Very similar to, I guess, the Roosters for me for a long time with Sam Walker and Keary combining. Whenever the problem that they have is whenever Brimo, Campbell, and Kinney sort of play together, I think they negate each other's best attribute, which is running the ball, being on ball, popping up around. They probably need someone a little bit more
structured.
Structured is the best word.
Not one of those players is structured.
They're not. They've got to play what they see.
And you never ever structure them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to.
Yeah.
But that's why they need foreign.
Yeah.
He can structure them.
Yeah.
You just got to put him in the right spot.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do with Brimson? Someone's got to make a call. He's a fullback. Kinney can.
Fullback.
Don't know. What do you do with that young kid now?
Yeah, he looks like he's got
Campbell. What do you do with Campbell?
They all look good in
what do you do?
They have moments of brilliance by themselves, and I haven't seen them combine when they've played in the same team.
Campbell cannot be in the front line. He cannot be in the front line. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, same.
But Brimo can be.
I think.
So do we fuck around? Do you fuck around with both of them? Someone needs to go.
Yeah.
And just like Brimson, I would have Brimson like that. He's a gun.
You need to somehow get some value for, like, if you're not going to have them, you need to somehow get, because I agree, all three of them together don't work.
It just doesn't work, mate. And Kinney, I mean, he's not tried and tested like these other two. Yeah. He's had a couple of decent games this year, but like, he's still not the answer. He's got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But what position is he?
Fullback, definitely.
He's 100% fullback. Those three guys are 100% fullbacks. Unless Brimo can play in the centres, I think he's a lot more versatile because he can tackle.
I wonder if Keanu Kinney can do the Blaze Talangi and move to the centres.
No, he's too small. Oh, jeez, I don't know.
He's not crazy
He's not small. He's not small.
He's young.
He can. I think he can.
I think he's got.
He's not as big as Blaze.
He's got more. Yeah, he's not at this point now. I think he's got more of the opportunity to build into his body than Jaden Campbell does.
Yeah, Jaden Campbell's probably not going to get any bigger.
Yeah.
And he looked like I think he's come back a little bit too early, Campbell. He was limping a little bit. You know, I rate all three of them so highly.
Yeah.
I just don't like Campbell in the front line because he's
They just don't fit together.
He's going to cop too many hits. He's a fullback.
Anyway, we'll see how
you can
Des
deal
plays
with
the
it.
next
Kenny,
couple
I
of
mean, like, but they got some decent outside backs. Who's Kenny going to be in front of? Fucking Kelly, Simi, like who's the other
Sammy,
centre?
do you mean Phil Sammy?
Yeah, Phil Sammy.
Sammy's been injured a fair bit.
Your man, Simi.
Phil Simi. Simi Sasangi.
Yeah, and I think Kenny could fit there somewhere. Put Campbell at fullback and Brimo just in the centres or somewhere like that. I don't know.
It's a tricky
I
one.
don't know.
We'll see what
man.
happens.
That's what Des is a coach for. That's why you're getting paid millions, son.
Yeah, that's why you're in the big bucks. All right, let's get to the Warriors. Speaking of coaches, what a performance from the Warriors. 42 defeating the Cowboys 12. This is what I wrote down. The first thing I wrote down in my notes when I saw Adam cross the line.
What do you mean?
The post-try celebration from The Last Dance, the janitor. Gives him the janitor one. Again, for me, big tech Andrew Webster. And what I mean by that is I feel like he's building something special there. Now, it is easy to talk about accountability and standards when it's a second-tier player or it's early in the year or you're winning a lot of games and you're traveling, you make big decisions. For him to make that decision on Adden a couple of weeks ago around the standards after Magic Round when they had a shitload of players out, when they'd finally just won their first game and they were on the back of a losing streak and they had a Dolphins team coming up which was travelling well at the time, to make that decision to sit Adden and then for also on the flip side of that, to add and to react well to it. However we feel about, like, I know we don't have the full details. I guess we'll probably never know the full details of what happened with Adden in that situation. It was quite confusing. But in saying that, the way that Webby handled it, he was, in my opinion, pretty honest in the presser after, and also the way that Adden handled it. Comes out, has a week off. They have the bye, comes out 20 for 200, 100 post-contact metres, 22 tackles, no misses. So
100 post-contact metres?
100 post-contact.
That's more than most people's fucking actual metres gained.
I'd say 75% of the NRL, he's running more post-contact than what they have. So, again, big tick Andrew Webster. You have standards, you have accountability. Like I said, it's easy to pull the trigger when you're travelling well. It's easy to pull the trigger when it's a Justin Horo and not a Willie Mason. There's a difference between our level of play. If you drop me, people are not going to fucking care too much. If you drop you, Mace, people are going to go, ooh, what happened there? Yeah. You know, there's a different and there was a lot of talk around that. So to pull the trigger.
And I like the fact that the Warriors held that in-house. Shit like that usually gets out.
Yep.
You know, that shows how tight they are as a group. Well done, Webby. I can't agree with you more about everything that you just said.
All right, Chance Nickel Clogstad. Here's my next one.
Oh, you disagree with that?
Chance Nickel Clogstad.
What a gun!
He's top 5 in the fullback right now. All right? So everyone's going to be like, yeah, we throw top 5s, top 3s out all the time.
Man.
Here's my top 5 for any of you to debate right now. And this is, I take in everything in consideration. At the moment, Latrell, inconclusive because he's missed a lot of footy over the last 18 months. I'm going to go the last 18 months through suspension and injury. Turbo's out, missed too much footy. And Kalen Ponga missed too much footy. Even
those three are out.
You know I love Kalen Ponga. You know I love Tommy Travojevic. You know I love Latrell. Inconclusive. They haven't played enough footy. For me, right now, in the last 18 months, Reece Walsh number 1, Dylan Edwards number 2, Hammer number 3, Teddy number 4, Chance Nickel Clogstack number 5.
Can't complain with that.
Like what they've put,
if you're ruling out those other three, on talent wise, you know, if they're playing football week in, week out, they're in the top there. Yeah, you probably going to put Ponga. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think Nickel Clogstad, man, when he's on, he is on. Like that what he did against the Cowboys in that first 20 was ridiculous. He's so strong, man.
He's so strong.
Fuck, he schooled like Holmes again, man. Yeah. Like he's making some bad reads sometimes. Really need to exploit that in Origin. Some of his bad reads. He makes up for it because he does some great reads, but then sometimes when there's numbers like that, when they throw that double lead on that
struggles with
right
that.
side, because they got so much
The back row and the centre with Chans
so
at the
much
back.
diversion, you know, and then they come because Clockstad starts right back and he comes right late, and then the guy with the ball is going into the line when he either hits Rocco Berry, like you're in the worst position there if you're Holmes. You have to be one of the best defenders in the fucking world to read that.
Yeah,
you got to come in on Rocco Berry.
You got to be committed,
you know,
to that front.
or because if he hits Rocco Berry like they did, try. Or or he's sort of like sitting right on his outside hip. So if he goes around the back to Clockstad, fuck, you're done again.
Yeah.
Because you've got to account for Rocco Berry, all those double leads.
You know who's the difference?
It's fucking hard, mate.
You know who's the biggest difference? And it wasn't working at the start of the year, it worked last year, and they've got it going again. Marata Niokota.
Yeah.
Like him running that
Beautiful
line
ones.
and the way he punches and gets at the 3-man.
You have
he
to
is
account for him.
Such an underrated part. I wrote this down. The versatility of the pack in this modern day game, I think the Warriors have the most versatility. So you think about Adden as a front row, but really, like, he's so mobile and skillful, him and Tohu Harris. But having Barnett, Ford, and Niokota, who can all play edge and middle and interchangeable, now that Jackson Ford's gone to the front row.
He looked all right.
Yeah, he looks all right. He looks like he loves it, right? Mitch Barnett goes back to the edge. He gets a bit of a rest.
Yeah.
But being able to give each other a bit of a spell and some time.
Yeah, I like that.
Swapping in and changing.
But that edge,
the wires are coming.
Yeah, but it's they're going back to that. Everyone's on the same page now, right? Because I think with SJ, he was injured, man. They couldn't get off his tempo, right? His tempo was off a little bit.
He was missing a lot of training sessions, with injury.
So the tempo was off, so the lead runners were off because that's their main play. The two lead runners, one outside and inside the 3-man.
3-man, yeah,
So
the
you've got to
half.
engage the 4-man, right?
Yeah.
So like with Rocco Berry, that's why the centre is just stuck in no man's land. If you execute those plays right, it's fucking near try time all the time.
Yeah, it's a tough play to defend.
It is very hard. Like, especially if you get it from a quick play the ball, just say on the left side of the post, wide ball, and then someone out the back, and then like Clockstad's right out the back. So he Holmes is looking at him.
And Dallon's so far in with him on that sweep shape that the winger can't make a strong decision because he goes quick tip and then Dallon scores.
Tip, and then because they stay tucked and fan right out real late. It's just like a sprint. It's a sprint to the corner. That's what it is. And then if Val Holmes if he tries to overread it and goes out the back, bang, Rocco Berry.
Yeah,
because he runs very good lines.
There's Rocco
very
Berry's
good lines. That was his best game.
Very good lines.
Very good lines. Very good lines.
What about Tomato Martin, mate? Has he shown you enough during this last 2 or 3 weeks? If this is indeed Shawnee's last year or maybe even next year, can he be a long-term 7 for the Warriors? Fuck, he's looked good.
Yeah, he looks good. Same as the other fella. Who's a 6?
Chanel Harris.
Chanel Harris, yeah.
He's physical, Chanel.
He's physical, man. Yeah, I like his defense.
He's probably the best hitting 6 in the last 3 or 4 years.
Easily.
Yeah.
He's aggressive.
But he also gets caught jamming in too hard. That's his problem. So Tomato Martin debuted in 2016. He was showing that potential at the Cowboys there off the back of the end of the Jonathan Thurston era in 2019, and then he injures his neck. Comes back.
Penrith first, wasn't
Yeah, Penrith first. Debuted at Penrith. Then he went up to Cowboys after a couple of years. He had a really good year with Morgs, I think, and then once him and Morgs got injured, that's when Cowboys dipped for a couple of years, remember? Yeah. But yeah, he's showing some signs for me. Tomato Martin, he could have the trajectory of his career was going a certain way. It's on the rise.
The talent's always been there.
Yeah.
And if they show some faith in him and go, all right, like SJ's done, you're our next man up. I think a whole preseason at 7, him and the other fella, they could easily not lose that much.
What about little Jet Cleary on his way? You got Metcalf as well there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good for those guys.
They have some options, don't they?
Iron sharpens iron. They'll both go at it. Then everyone will be competing for the 7 and 6 job, which that's what you want. Wayne Egan played pretty good too.
Yeah,
I thought he was outstanding. I think he's come over. He's been busted all year.
You know what,
fucking round 1.
Wade Egan needs a dry track.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it doesn't suit him playing in New Zealand, which is weird to say because that's his home team. But you get a dry track with Wade Egan, he is so hard to stop because he dictates terms from the middle.
He's such a good ball player.
The Cowboys for me disappointing, and after last week they were so good. But here's one for you, right? They currently sit. This is the one on the ladder that I was going to talk about. They're currently sitting 11th on the ladder, but they have 14 points. With 7 wins, so
same as the Dogs.
The Dogs, right? but they're sitting 11th. The Dolphins are sitting 4th on 7 wins as well. The Cowboys haven't had a bye this year.
Yeah, right.
Not one bye. So they're a team to watch out for.
Right. That looked
good
awful,
start,
but that looked terrible.
Bad middle, peaked back up, and this game was 2 steps backwards, which is concerning. We've got so many Cowboys fans, by the way. We get so many people in the comments, mate, Cowboys fans.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, heaps.
Is it the backing up? I don't think so. They just got outschooled and outclassed and like the enthusiasm that the Warriors come into that game.
Yeah.
You can see in the first 3 sets, I'm like, fuck, Warriors look on.
Yep,
They look on. Then Fanil Blake sort of set the standard with his runs, and I was like, it's going to be a hard one.
Could they?
It'll be a hard one.
Yeah.
Especially over there.
It was a mixture of Cowboys were off, Warriors were excellent, but I'm also going to throw this in. And like I said, I've mentioned it. Watch out for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
They have the potential with 3 buys to go on a run in the last half of the season when every other team might be a little bit banged up after Origin.
3 buys.
They have 3 buys to go, mate. They have 3 buys to go. So that's 6 points, by the way. So if you add those buys to where they are, that puts them on
Surely they got a buy this week.
20 points. They do have a buy this week.
It's fucking round.
Yeah, they do
15.
have a buy this week. Let me just confirm that.
Oh, well. They were impressive, the Warriors. They look like they're back.
And also, I like the look of this Jackson Purdue now. Played centres last week, come off the bench and played a bit of a linking role. I think he's their long-term 7 moving forward. I don't think Chad Townsend extends there. I think they've got an option in Jay Clifford, but I like this Jackson Purdue kid. I think, he's a player to look for. What about the sin binning quickly? It was the weirdest sin binning, eh?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Chad Townsend gets a ball thrown at his head from Chanel Harris-Tavita.
Yeah,
and gets he didn't even do anything.
He was on the ground.
And he didn't even do anything. He didn't even react, really.
No, he just laid there like that.
And so they sent Chanel, which he shouldn't have, he threw the ball on him. Who gives a shit? There's a bit of push and shove. And then just because you sent Chanel off, you felt like he was.
Did he think that Townsend instigated it? He's laying on the ground, got a ball thrown at him, and then everyone. I actually at the start of it when he come pushing over, that's what he got sent for.
But that was
which was nothing.
Him and Kurt Capewell are good mates too, by the way. So it was a bit of nothing. It was a bit of mates doing mates thing after some contact. It was the weirdest. It was the weirdest sin binning I've ever seen.
I don't know why.
Ref Ziggy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Ziggy.
But Ziggy, you got to be able to.
Ziggy Marley.
That's not NRL standard, mate. You lost your fucking shit there. No way you send anyone to the bin for that. All right. Sharks were great. 22 defeating the Broncos 12. The back 5 all run for 100 metres, Mace. Every time I say that for the Cronulla Sharks,
they win.
It leads to a win because their defence through the middle, they've got tradesmen-like workhorses in the middle. Their outside backs get 100. That's their DNA. That's how the Sharks wins games. And I also thought Braden Trindle, for me in the last 2 weeks, has shown that he's a long-term answer next to Nico.
Yeah, I agree. They were outstanding. I backed the Broncos, but that was thinking that Reece Walsh was going to play.
Yeah, true.
I just didn't think that.
Oh no, Reece Walsh was always out because he was Category 1.
No, I'm just saying if he got through Origin and killed it and didn't get injured, right?
Yeah, but didn't we do the picks on Thursday and he was out?
Really? Shit. Fuck. Yeah, all right, whatever. I didn't take into account that anyway.
I still thought the Broncos were going to win without him.
The Bronx were going to win.
Even with Tristan Saylor, I thought they were going to win.
They got rolled.
Yeah.
Tristan didn't play his best game.
Yep. No, Tritty had it was a humbling game for him because he's been really good. Yeah. Every time he's filled in, he's been great.
Sucks, because he hasn't played first grade for a while. Like you go back to Q Cup and you carve all that sort of shit up.
And he was injured in Q Cup too. He missed a game where he could have played.
He hasn't played that much football, and just that level of NRL compared to the Q Cup and New South Wales comp. It's massive, mate.
Wendell said he had an opportunity to go overseas or go to another club, and he just wanted to stay at the Broncos and grind it out. But he's got to look. He's a first grader. But you're right. The more you go back to Queensland Cup, the more you pick up Queensland Cup habits.
Yeah, he needs to be in first grade. He needs to play week in, week out first grade, and I think he could be a great player. But it just sucked. Yeah, he had a couple of drop balls. That's just concentration.
Yep.
They're balls that he could catch. Not 100 times out of 100, he would have caught those. But we had one of those games. But the Sharks are up for it. Fucking Royce Hunt was an absolute animal.
Okay, here's my one for you. And I've been excited about this because you've been recruiting. You've been recruiting players to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's that. I'd rather him than Stefano.
So for anyone that is just new to the show, anytime anyone becomes available, basis recruiting him. For me, he is the perfect guy for your system.
Yeah.
He apparently it was reported throughout the week last week that he's been given the opportunity to negotiate. They've got Adam there. They've got Toby Rudolph long term. They've got Braden Hamlin-Uele just re-signed, and Tom Hazelton started from the bench, but I'd imagine that they would want to extend him.
You can't have all of them.
He suits you guys to a T, Bulldogs.
He hits hard.
He's exactly what you need.
Yeah, we need that guy.
Yeah,
like he's an animal, man. Like
I'm talking about the Bulldogs for you.
Yeah, like he runs hard, but he has a presence in the middle. Like he wants to actually bang you. Like
he wants to run through people.
Wants to run through.
Yeah.
Like if you can get like 60 minutes out of him, get some really good numbers. He's like a little miniature like Fanua Blake about 5 years ago.
Here's my thing. I don't think you even need to force 60 minutes with your team the way that your team.
I think he
40 minutes max.
Fit right into our system really well.
So your key comes off the bench, maybe the 25, 20-minute mark, or starts, whatever you may do, or it starts 20, last 20, and then you've got your toilers for the that do that middle part that move the ruck around.
He's a starter in the game.
Yeah.
He's just going to be held back there if he stays there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to recruit him, but just for his career.
Sort of trying to recruit him.
Yeah, still but for his career and his trajectory going upwards, if he stays there, like he's got to battle it out with, all those blokes you just mentioned.
Jack Williams is another one, another candidate. That
I like Jack Williams.
Talakai's on the bench now.
I like Cronulla. They're tough, bro.
Yeah.
They can switch it on.
They bounce back.
Put a little bit of class in there with Nico coming back like fully fit.
Yep.
Kennedy's ridiculous.
I love Kennedy.
He's
probably he's now taken over. I think a lot of Canberra players have always considered the most underrated players. I still think Will Kennedy is, from the fans and league, not from players. I think he's from a media fans perspective one of the most underrated players. I love Will Kennedy. Sifa Talakai too, the versatility that he's got on the bench.
What the fuck?
He's so dangerous coming off the bench. Started left edge, back row.
Could they win the comp?
Yeah, I do. I think they can.
You think they can?
Yeah, I think they can. Yeah.
They got big. If they play big, physical, strong football and possession wise and field position wise, they can beat you into submission.
Well, one of my teams to beat is the Broncos, and I know they're missing Reece Walsh, and Adam Reynolds.
They didn't have a problem with their forward pack. Trust me.
Yeah, Paddy Carrigan was outstanding.
Did not have a problem. Paddy, but like they didn't have a problem with Payne Haas or Paddy or Jensen. They were going at it.
Yeah,
and they didn't have a problem with them at all.
Selwyn Cobbo, Katoni Staggs was up for it. Still got Ezra Mam, my man, your man.
Ezra needs, like, if you've got a few little defensive deficiencies, he can hit. You run at him, he'll bang him.
All right, here's my thing. And I don't know if you've seen the notes. Broncos left edge, they're going to get targeted. So you've got physically, they're good. Mentally, they have lapses. And that's Ezra Mam, who can, if you run straight at him, he can lick you. Selwyn Cobbo, you run straight at Selwyn or he wedges, he is going to lick you. Do they drop off? On occasion, do they get a little bit bored, it seems like, or do they get like a little bit distracted? Yeah, I think they do. So Katoa try where he sort of just...
That was just... You can't do that.
Yeah. Selwyn...
That's just getting... You just stay... He would know that better than anyone, right? Yeah. Like you just can't get beat on your inside shoulder. Ever. Like he showed him that. He's like, go. Like, come on, man.
And then when Trindle scores a little bit later, my man, Brendan Piacorta, I reckon, because this is what happens with defence. Sometimes you look at a individual play or play and then go, oh yeah, why'd he do that? That's kiddies. Brendan Piacorta for sure would have had. All right, Selwyn's just got dusted a couple of plays ago. Overchase, bang. Braden Trindle through the middle. So that left edge is going to get targeted. If I'm attacking, if I'm playing the Broncos, I'm sending heaps of shape.
And then if I'm the Broncos, I'm like, I know I know teams are going to send shape, and I'm just going to fucking hit everything.
Yeah,
that's the difference between good players like Ezra Mam, you got Piacorta, and you've got Cobbo. They're fucking good defenders.
Yep.
They just missed their assignments and they overplayed it, and they disrespected the players. They thought, yeah, you won't do that. Bang. No, you won't do that. Bang! Like you just got their pants pulled down. I think just little things like that happened at edges.
Yep.
They sit there, they dissect everything, and they make it their strength.
Okay, so they're playing South this week. Pardon me. South showed a lot more variety than I've seen in their attack in a while with Jack Whiten. Jack Whiten looked a little bit off on the left, like he still hasn't figured out that shape on the left. Yep. So therefore, Cody probably had more dominant shape on the right.
Yep.
And Latrell was actually floating back to the right more than I've ever seen. They'll be coming down that edge.
Yeah,
Look out for right edge of South Sydney, left edge for Broncos in a big game. And I reckon they're same thing. They're going to be.
I don't think the centres have the. Who's the left centre for South?
Left centre is
he played good too. What's his name?
Richie Kenner was on the right.
Richie Kenner was left, wasn't he?
No, he was right because that's when Latrell did the double pump on the right-hand side. He goes, pump, got Khan Pereira, and then he goes, looked like he was about to run. So then Brian Kelly bit, and I'm telling you right now, me and you could have ran through that whole Richie Kenner ran
beautiful,
through.
It was beautiful, nice. Beautiful ball playing.
That's where Latrell's coming.
Oh, man.
That's where Latrell and Cody are coming.
I think they'll be getting a lot of inside pressure to get to Latrell, obviously. Okay. Like, I think Pia Cora's a fucking good defender.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, they're all good defenders. I think they disrespected Sharks a little bit. Like, I think they could, we can handle it. They won't show and go. Trindle's like, he won't get me.
A little bit of,
Katoa won't get me.
A little bit of arrogance. They're travelling all right.
A bit of Queensland arrogance.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, they got their pants pulled down.
Yeah, so I think it'll be some great play from Latrell if they can get through that edge this week.
Yeah.
Or maybe the edge is just not that good. But I think
we'll see. Paddy Carrigan, 100 metres, 40 tackles, nothing new. On to the next.
Paddy.
Storm 36 defeat the Knights 28. I've made a conscious effort to not be bashing refs. I think that happens too much I'm over that now shit. In media.
We had a crack at them a month ago, and I'm done with it.
But fuck,
too much energy.
But this game was so poorly, and like I know, I was saying that it was. I think it was the G-Man.
Yeah, it was the G. It was the G, man.
And Ashley Klein was fucking the video ref. This is some of the calls that I thought were awful. So the Hastings first try, they said that a player's forearm knocked it. It was actually, I don't know what the rule is on this, but he loses it from his right hand into his left hand that knocks it back. Is that just knocked back right?
Yeah, that's what I think. No, because you knocked it forward into that hand.
Yeah, but still, it hasn't hit the deck moving forward. So I'm not totally clear on that rule. But the problem was Ashley Klein said it hit Storm's forearm. It didn't. It was off his own arm. They pick it up. Hastings scores, disallowed. Storm go down the opposite end. Ali Katoa runs the most obvious obstruction on Hastings' outside shoulder.
Didn't get caught. And it was a try. So within the space, they've flipped. It was like a 6-0 split. And this is what is so annoying, right? They've been very consistent with that.
Yeah.
Very consistent. And they've looked at it. Yes, we'll have a look at it. Did they even look at it?
No, it was quick. It was so quickly done.
That's what is the bad thing, right? It's like, go back and look at it, and then it's a clear no try.
They're trying to make decisions quicker now.
Yeah, I know. Too. But then on the leads, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
But I could get it because it wasn't his hole.
No, you know why they're trying to do it quicker? So there's not as much eyes on it. So there's not as much.
So we can't sit there and critique him.
Yeah, but I see it every time.
But I think when the Katoa ran the lead on Hastings, right? And then it was out the back.
Meany was
so
out the back.
It wasn't his hole that it didn't get impeded. And I think that rule, I think they're trying to change. I think they're trying to go, okay, well, if it's not the hole that you got impeded, if I run on your inside shoulder and someone gets there, then that's a penalty. If someone just goes there and then we score 10 metres out here, that's not on you. That's not on me. I reckon that's what they're trying to get at. And I like that rule. Because Hastings would never have got there.
Yeah, so what it did was it still was a 2-on-2 and Meany still burnt Dylan Lucas. But maybe Dylan Lucas can chase a little bit higher in my opinion. But I understand what you're saying too.
Or maybe if they are doing that, come out and explain it. Yeah. Say we're not. If it's not that hole that got impeded, if it's 10 metres out wide or 15 metres or another two players, we're not counting it. But don't just fucking have rules like this all year and then change it on us like this.
Yeah, I think this was a clear-cut one where I think players sometimes play for that obstruction.
Yes, of course, but
step in to get hit. But Jackson Hastings, in my opinion,
but if the refs come out and explain that to us, then everyone would go, okay, it was 3 holes outside Hastings. He was never going to get there. But if you don't explain it, then there's so much grey area in this, and then we're going to sit here and go, why didn't you pull that up? You pulled it up all year for the last couple of years. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you don't pull it up. You don't show anything like that. So we're all sitting there losing our shit.
And the other one, the last one as well, the forward pass from Meany to Wishart.
Oh, fuck, that was forward.
3 metres forward. I was going to say it was that far forward that maybe the video, and I'm like sort of half joking about this, it was so far forward that you could have blown a penalty for offside. Like Tyron Wishart was offside the entire time.
He's in front of Lucas.
Nick Meaney. Yeah, he was in front, pushed off the Knights player, and he was in front of Meaney when Meaney passed the ball.
Like,
so
Lucas was nearly offside. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If Lucas was a Melbourne player, I think it would have nearly been forward. Yeah. Let alone trying to hit. I went, what the?
Yeah, that was a bad one.
See that? Just going, that's forward. Pull that back.
Yeah.
Like, no. Yeah, and you can't.
And the G-Man was right in line with it too. I think it was the G-Man. Was he the ref?
But the fucking linesman's there. That's his job.
Yeah.
He's there. The linesman's fucking cruising along right in line with that.
Yeah.
And he still can't see it.
Both of them should have been able to get it though.
Come on, man. Like, you just expect better.
Here we go. Let's go to the team list. Who is it? Adam G.
There was G. I know, because he got hammered on fucking socials.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good. He deserved it. Even though we've been trying to stay away from it.
No.
Storm, the last 4 games they've played, 28 against the Knights, 26 against Manly, 16 against the Eels, 25 against the Sharks.
Slowly. Slyly putting together a fucking good season.
Yeah, so they're just getting these wins. Is this an indication of, one, are the Storm's defence nowhere near what they used to be, or is it the nature of the game now?
Nature of the game now. The 6-to-goes are fatigued, all that kind of stuff. Their defensive system still is as good as anybody's.
One of the top teams.
But still, they don't have the, let's not compare it to the 2017 and the 2010's defensive systems.
Okay, so you'll know this, and a lot of teams had this rule as a rule. If you keep a team to under 2 tries in a game, that is considered a winnable game. You win it. You win like fucking 90% of your games or whatever.
28.
Now, I think 18 is the new threshold. I think it's increased now. Like if you,
I think it's nearly even above. I think 18 or 20, 22. I think you're still going. Well, if we score next, we'll be all right.
Yeah, fuck.
Like, just say in the 2000s, if you got to like 12 nearly, like, you're done.
You score 16 points, you keep them to 12, obviously, but that's the main part is the defence part.
Yeah.
If you can keep a team to 12, you good chance of winning the game.
And if you're a good defensive team, if you get like to 14-0 or 16-0, in your head, you're like, you're not coming back.
No, if you got 10 minutes to go and you're 16-0, you're not confident.
Fucking please. Yeah, like now, and you're like, because there's so much danger and there's so many little things that come into the game, like the 6-to-goes and little penalties, and just like you can get on the back foot. You could be on their try line and massive attacking sets for 2 or 3 sets. The next minute, boom, 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 penalty, then you're on your own line. Short
kick off.
Yeah.
Get it. 6 again. Try.
Yep. Those are things that
that's quite common.
That's very common. They're things you got to deal with. You're like, this shit could go on. Yeah. Right? Imagine just building pressure. That's what I mean. I like that rule that fit, the dropout rule, but I'm like, you know how hard it is to get a 6 again?
Yeah.
And then it gets no reward when it gets when they get the tip on. Yeah. When they get the tip back.
I think we've got to go. Lukey, we've got to go, mate. Are we running out of time? Yeah. All right.
Come on, let's just finish this.
We've got 2 games to go.
2 games.
2 games to go.
Minutes.
I'll talk a little bit. Fletcher Sharp, just quickly. Fletcher Sharp was really good. Armstrong, Dylan Lucas looked good. Gags
is good, man.
He's been really good. 213 with 75 posts.
Dylan Lucas, future rep player.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. He's very well built. He defends really well. He gets put out in the centres a lot, and he gets exposed sometimes, but him left side back row.
It's tough with being a back row.
It's very hard.
I think he's got a centre background, but
I think he's a future rep player if he's in the right system.
Yep. All right, we'll do the Panthers and Seagulls a little bit later.
Do we have to go, or?
Lukey, do we have to go? Do we? We're fine. Okay, good.
Let's go.
Yeah. Are we good, Cam? Is Cam out there as well?
We good?
Yeah. Sweet. Okay. All right. The Panthers 32 defeated the Seagulls 22. Manly had a great opportunity to get the champs twice in the regular season, but not so good. So this is one thing to when Penrith go 36 from 38, very hard to beat. Seeps told me this when we were calling the game at Origin. This is this stat has an 85% win rate. So if you obviously run more meters than the team, that increases your probability of winning. But when you run for the most meters, but then the most meters per carry, then it's 85% of the time you win the game. So check this out. Panthers had 1,923 metres and had 193 runs for an average of 9.95 metres per carry. So they're almost running the ball 10 metres per carry, mates. Think about that. Jesus. Manly had 1,161 to Panthers 923 for 147 carries at 7.9 metres per carry. So almost 2 metres.
But that's fuck all, really, eh?
But for me, that sums up how dominant Penrith have been in this span.
Crazy.
Like 2 metres.
You'd be happy with 7.9 per carry?
Imagine 2 metres, 2 metres, 2 metres, 2 metres. Every set. Like that's what you're losing to Penrith.
Yeah, then it just weighs up, doesn't it?
That's what makes Penrith so great.
Yeah. Mate, how good was Brian Ty? Ty he's desensitized our heads and eyes because he just does, 230 easy?
Yeah,
and they're tough meters, man.
He was my dog of the week if it wasn't for a couple of weeks ago.
They're not just like, they're not fullback carries.
No.
They're play twos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, mate, he's easily the best winger in the world, man.
Whenever anyone kicks the Toto for the most part too, they will normally put it up in the air because they're trying to negate
and it doesn't matter.
yardage carries.
It doesn't matter. Even our little man, like Dane Laurie, goes for what, 340?
So here's my question with that.
Come on, bro.
Is this the best system we've ever seen?
Yes.
So no Nathan Cleary. Sean O'Sullivan looks all right. Cogger looks okay. Schneider looks okay. J. Cole in the house. What's up? Dylan Edwards misses. We haven't seen much of that, but Stephen Crichton's played all right at fullback, filling in for him. And now Dane Laurie goes for 300. This Penrith system is as good as it gets.
That's what I mean. If he's in the West Tigers, would he even get near 300?
No,
it's
no
that field position.
Yeah.
He's catching it on the 30. He's just going bang. He's got so much room to move. And he's going to get the ball 20 times. And he's going to average 10, 12 metres, 15 metres, 20 metres sometimes. Crazy, mate.
So good. You talked about a rep player. You just said Dylan Lucas is a potential future rep player.
Yeah. Same as this man.
Liam Henry,
he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories of that about Cleary. Cleary reckons they have to put him out of some opposed games because he just doesn't know how to fucking stop.
Yes, I love that.
He's got that dog in him.
Yep.
And
they're annoying as fuck, those guys.
Yeah, he goes, when it's like don't touch the halves, mate.
Yeah.
Comes in third.
Can't help himself.
So he gets rested. Liam Henry. So no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I said I love him. I've been watching him all year. So
awesome. I love hearing that.
So I reckon in the next couple of years, with the loss of Fish and he might step up, play a bigger role this year and a bigger role next year.
I think Lindsay Smith is the obvious candidate to go starting front row with Moses, but he'll come off and play 60 minutes.
He can play back row as well.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he had 71 tackles in the back row against Dragons last week.
That work rate is crazy.
I love Liam Henry. I think he's going to be a real player. Manly, again, they just need to tweak their lineup. I've been going over the same shit. I don't like the way that they're...
I like Talau on the wing. I know he scored
put him in the centres.
I know he scored 4 of the best.
Talau left centre, Kohler right centre, where Kohler was really good last year with Olakuatu. Ruben Garrick on the left, Jason Saab on the right, and Manly are opposite to the Warriors, in my opinion.
Can we put Cole at fullback?
I like Kopawati, and Turbo's going to come back and play. Okay. If there was going to be one change, I think Turbo, Steve said Turbo was a chance of returning for game 3 or decide it. I would keep him out regardless, right? So he's going to be back soon enough. But my big thing is Talau, centres. Yeah. Tommy Talau's been our best player probably this year.
Brooksy played good.
Yep.
Thought he played good. I think they were in it. They were right in this game, especially out of Penrith. It's a hard game.
Manly middles are opposite the Warriors in the sense they're the least mobile pack in the competition.
Yeah, they just look...
Like if you look at the small ball that the Bulldogs are playing and the versatility that the Warriors have got, Manly are complete opposite. They just got big ball. SUA'ALI'I, Brown, Paseka, Sipley and Lodge, none of them can play anything but middle.
Even Brown. So Nathan Brown, when he's running the ball, right, and he's playing those block shapes, he needs to be careful when he's got Ches out the back that he takes too many steps. He did a couple of times where Ches got the ball and he just got caught. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when he gets that real wide ball, it's nearly 1-2 step and then out the back so Ches can play with his other back rows. Yep. So how many times when Penrith in a good system like that, they can see if you take 1 or 2 more steps, 3-man straight up. 4-man straight up, just shuts Ches down. The middle guy it's too much for him.
Our biggest concern at the back end of his Paris stint was he was ball playing too much.
If you dig in too far, run it yourself.
Take it yourself.
Just take a quick play ball. And, some things like that. If you're going to be that ball playing lock, you got to know when to pass it. If you take one more step, that means the line's coming up another 1.5 meters and it shuts Ches down. Worst case scenario, I don't want my 7 getting tackled like that. Yeah. Because that could be a fucking fair hit.
Yeah, it's good. Teams wedge now on that back.
Yeah, they wedge on that guy on the back because they can see because it's very telegraphed sometimes.
Yeah.
bang, dig in yourself, play the ball.
Yeah,
Don't get Ches tackled. We don't want that ball.
We've got the best for last, mate.
Yeah.
For me, this is the game of the round. One of the games of the year. 22, the Bulldogs. Your Bulldogs defeat my Eels, 18. You know what I was thinking watching this game? This is the last little part, because I love all sports, right? Yeah. So sometimes I flick in between watching NRL games that are going shitty and I watch AFL because I just love AFL as well. I love all sports. So when I watch games, there's a dramatic difference. Yeah, we're killing them in ratings. Yeah, we're probably killing AFL in popularity. The one thing we don't even come close to is crowds. When I watch an AFL game, I feel more invested in the AFL game, only if it's for about 5 minutes because of the crowds. And we've been super critical of a core stadium. But when you get 45,000 to Bulldogs versus Eels, there was another game on King's birthday for AFL. I didn't even look at it, not once, because I was so invested in this game, the Bulldogs versus Eels, because of the crowd. And if we as NRL fans can turn up to games like this and give not even two teams that I don't think are even in the top 8 right now, but are showing signs of Bulldogs just went into it, but they're outside of the top 8, and the Eels are currently 14th. You give the players 45,000, they'll put on a show for you.
That's the thing. I mean, these Bulldogs young men, they don't have a clue of the supporter base that we have. They have no idea because we've been bottom 4 for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
The Bulldog army has been hiding.
It's huge.
Now it's fucking massive, mate. I said, you wait till you start making top 8, top 4 grand finals and stuff like that, big runs into the semis.
The Lebanese brothers banging the drums?
The drums are beating fucking hard. I could hear them about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I told the boys, I said, you wait. Yeah. You wait. They'll turn up and they'll back you to the fucking hill. The most passionate supporters that you'll ever get. But they're big front runners and you need to fucking win. And look at that game yesterday. The way that they won was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They should have been, Paris should have put them to bed.
Yep.
They just couldn't. They couldn't. You know what I mean? Just the spirit that they showed, the leadership from Critta, the forwards, everyone ripping in as hard as they could. And then that fucking try, how they scored that last try, I was just fucking up going nuts.
Mace, I honestly believe they don't win that game if it's not for the crowd and the buy-in from the crowd and the feeling of that crowd. I think it's a game that maybe slips away from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, my biggest thing, my biggest thing is with NRL fans, don't be front runners. If we can somehow get crowds, not like we're not going to get the 80,000s that they get in AFL.
50 at Accor looks crazy.
45 at Accor is perfect.
Come on, man.
25, 30,000, and the boys will put on a show. And
obviously, you'll have a lot of things in the comments going, it costs fucking $50 to get into a game. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. We're not catering for the fans.
Yeah,
something where the NRL needs to do, and like
game day experience needs to be better.
Game day experiences need to be a lot better with the families and all that kind of shit. I totally understand.
Look at the product when you do it right.
I haven't paid for a ticket since fucking '98.
Yeah, that'd be the same. All right, they were down 18-10, mate. Like you said, 10 minutes to go. At one stage, the penalty count was 9-1. They lose both Curran and Preston to injury in the last 20 minutes. They lose Mann to the sin bin. This Dogs team is building something special.
It is. And they had every right when they lost those players to, we fucking tried our best.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't give up at all. Man, come on. I thought Man was outstanding, even though he played limited minutes. But they had every excuse to get beat in this game. That's what I said, it's the way that they won.
Yes.
You watch the next fucking home game.
Yeah.
Next home game, I'm not expecting 45,000, but I didn't see many blue and yellow fucking jerseys. It was all blue and white.
I'd say 70-30, 80-20 Bulldogs.
Yeah,
yep.
And they deserve that win. Enjoy their week.
Oh, fuck. The Cowboys still don't have a bye. The Bulldogs got the bye this week.
Yeah, the boys have got the bye.
Fuck, the Cowboys. So, mate, their run home for the Cowboys. Where are we? The Bulldogs, they play the Roosters at Gosford. That'll be packed out. Gosford turn up.
They turn up.
Yeah, Gosford, and Bulldogs fans, that's not too far to travel.
Nah, all good.
What else have we got? Ciraldo, we talked a lot about Ciraldo. Oh, this is what I love what Ciraldo's doing. With not only the coaching with the small ball that he's playing in the forwards, the outside backs, how interchangeable they have been.
Yeah.
So you look at what Penrith have done in the last couple of years. An underrated part is the versatility that the outside backs have got. Brian Toto can play left and right wing. Stephen Crichton can play left, right, wing, centre. Isaac Tungle swaps as well. Matty Burton plays 6, whatever. You know, the examples go on and on.
Yeah.
So what Ciraldo did last night, so when they lose Fox, instead of moving Bronson Xerri, who's only 8 games into his Bulldogs career, with Blake Wilson on the left with a straight swap. He moves Carraz from the right to the left to play with, give Xerri a more senior player compared to Blake Wilson, and he puts Blake Wilson next to Critta, who's the most influential player. Again, just little things like that. I noticed those things, and I thought big tick Cameron Cirota at the start of that game. Yeah, at times it looked like they were going to lose the game, but I thought no matter what, he's made the right decision with the way that team was constructed.
Very, very best win for the last 5 years, I reckon.
Yep. And then also the last little bit, and some good. We'll talk about the Eels in a bit as well. Two changes that I think have been crucial in the Bulldog season so far, and they happened in the Roosters game. Bronson Xerri plays his first game. That allows Stephen Crichton to move from that dominant left edge to the right and have the pack more balanced on the left. And unfortunately for his own well-being, Blake Taff has that HIA from the Dom Young hit. We see Connor Tracy move from wing to fullback. And from that point on, they haven't really looked back.
He's got some X factor, man.
Yeah.
Connor Tracy, fuck, I didn't know how quick he was.
Yeah, same.
But he just gets the ball and just like he takes the meters. You know what he's not flashy. He just goes, give me the meters. He's tough. He's strong. He's got a skill set. I rate him.
He's like Dylan Edwards. His fitness level looks outstanding.
He doesn't stop.
Because he gets faster as the game goes on when everyone else starts to get slow.
Same as Blake Wilson, same as Carraz, same as Critta. Mate, they've got and even Cherry. Cherry's still trying to get his legs back.
Yep.
You know, he's still going good, but he's still not. He hasn't got that Critta sort of fitness.
We had a chat with him on SC on the Moles a couple of weeks ago. He's currently 102 kilos. He was 93 when he was
about 95, I reckon.
So he needs to get to about 96, 97.
Yeah, because he's a big man.
Good signs for the Eels in this one still. Yeah. I just thought they got a little bit nervous at the back end. What about Gutho's challenge? Did you see that? So he challenged the play against himself.
Yeah, the knock on or something like that.
So rather than a 7-tackle set.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah,
that's the best challenge I've ever seen.
You smart little prick.
I've said this for a while now. Parramatta are the best team to challenge because they've got 2 captains in Mitch Moses and Gutho. They're at challenging the referees.
That's what makes it an even better win. They were up for this game.
They were up.
They were up for it.
They played well.
Paulo, Reg,
they played well.
Right, everyone, they were defended good. They were hitting hard. They were kicking the corners and bashing us, and we just kept going and going, and then it turned into a fucking great game.
They're throwing some shape, man.
Yeah, some great shape.
Dylan Brown played well.
Moses played great. Dylan Brown, he's good.
I tell you what, Kelma Tuolangi's played his best 3-week span that I've seen. He's always had one good game and then maybe a shitty game or a couple of quiet games. He's getting used to playing with Dylan Brown now as well.
Yep.
All right, mate. That is it. We are going to be filming on Thursday, but the show won't be dropping till Friday. Our little man Lukey at the back there's got a wedding, so we'll get someone to be here on the 1s and 2s. So you'll miss out on the preview for the Thursday game. I might give my tips on socials on Thursday. But we'll see you
Thanks, guys.
Thursday, mate.
See ya.